So let me start off with introducing who I am. I am Delitra Hudson, the financial educator, owner of Delitra Hudson LLC, financial coaching and consulting firm based in St. Louis, Missouri, the founder of the Financial Wellness Institute of America, which is my virtual financial academy, a best-selling and award-winning author of both adult and children's books on financial literacy, and I love traveling across the country speaking and teaching organizations, business owners, professionals about financial literacy and how they can start achieving financial freedom. So, what really qualifies me to be the one to teach you about that? Let's see what's going on with my slides here. Uh-oh, now I went too far. Let me just give you a little bit of history about how long I've been doing what I do. I come to you with over 25 years of experience in the financial industry, working with governments, municipalities, small businesses, nonprofits, and executive. Those are the professionals who are probably making six figures or more, but still living paycheck to paycheck. I have teams of certified professionals on my team to help guide us through the process and reach those goals. And we specialize in financial management for municipalities, women-owned small businesses, and professionals. So the purpose and mission of Delitra Hudson LLC is to transform the state of financial management services in communities worldwide. And we do this by teaching simple financial strategies to the community leaders, the business owners, and the professionals in those communities who are the decision makers so that we can help support them with improving the financial position of the entities that they are responsible for taking care of, the citizens that they serve, as well as the households that they represent. And we also, along the way, teach people how to build generational wealth. One of my main goals over this year is to help 100 people save $100,000 by December 31st. And if you're interested, just shoot me an email and say, hey, Delitra, I want to learn how to be one of those 100 people. And you can email me at delitrahudson.com, DELETRA@delitrahudson.com. And we love to go and get our message across the country. And we're going to eventually go to the world. I claim it right now as international. We host events, workshops, seminars, and we do this all through my firm, Delitra Hudson LLC, and the Financial Wellness Institute of America. These are some of my community partners, the Urban League, Grace Hill Women Business Center, St. Louis Regional Financial Empowerment Coalition, Country Financial, who was a huge sponsor in 2017 when my first children's book was sent across the country. They ordered thousands of copies to make sure that young people had the book in their hands, the NAACP, United Way, and more. I work with some of the local municipalities here in the city of St. Louis and in the state of Illinois, as well as we've been featured on Fox 2 News, which is one of the local television stations here, in our local newspaper, St. Louis American. My mantra is, I am the voice every leader and entrepreneur needs to hear about managing their money and making sound financial decisions. And you're going to learn more about why. So let's get into how we start to understand our power. We're talking about gaining control and taking the power of our money. We live in a capitalistic society. On average, we have African Americans making 60% less than our white counterparts. Our average income is about $30,000 compared to their upper 50,000s. On average, women, now let's break down the definition and the statistics about women and their earnings. Women already make about 20% less than men. However, when we talk about African American women, we're more like 30 to 40% less than our white male counterparts. So when we think about why we always seem to be in a rat race or trying to catch up, because we really are. We're already starting behind the gate with making less money, which already puts us at a deficit with our household, with our on our jobs, and the how we try to move forward. So we're the lowest paid class of citizen in the country. We're one of the lowest. We're not the lowest. The lowest under us is the Mexican American community. African Americans contribute 1.5, approximately $1.5 trillion to the economy. So what does that tell us? We make less money, but we are spending more of our money. And we're spending it and contributing it to the economy that's not giving it back to us. So we need to think about how we need to change that. The Economic Policy Institute reports that almost 12 million women are heads of households with children. That means we are the breadwinners. We are the decision makers about how the money is spent. And what we also know is that even when we are not the breadwinners, we are still the financial decision makers of those households. We are the ones who make sure that the kids have what they have, that the food stays on the table. We make ends meet. We keep a roof over our heads. So when you think about all those things and we start to break it down, we really need to connect with the power that we have financially and learn how to use that just a little bit better. Fortune magazine reports that in 2015, 29% of small business owners were owned by women. That was totaling $9 million contributed by women-owned businesses. And it has just continued to grow. 14% of those small businesses are owned by African-American women, and African-American women business owners are the fastest growing business owners in the economy. And we have held that baton since about 1997, continuing to grow businesses. But we don't make the type of revenue in our businesses that our white counterpart women make. On average, we're making about $24,000 annually, where they can make about $140,000 annually. So we need to really think about the money management aspects that we contribute and the lack of knowledge that we may have about how to be successful in business. So it's time for us to create our own success and start to build our own legacies. So taking control means, one, you need to understand the value of your dollar. We must be conscious of how we spend our money. We must educate ourselves on personal finance and develop better money habits. We must communicate with the people that we owe. How many of us, you just raise your hand or keep it to yourself, how many of us avoid our bill collectors? I know when we see that number, we just either decline the call or don't answer it. But in some cases, especially when you're trying to build and transform your financial position, it is best to communicate and not avoid, because when you are avoiding, sometimes you're making a situation worse. Take steps to start setting yourself and your family up for financial success. I'm going to give you a few steps on telling you how to do that. So here are 4 steps on how to affirm financial freedom and take control of your money. You ready? Get that papers and pens and let's jump right into it. Step 1. I know you've heard it, but how many are doing it? But it is a fact that this is how wealth is started to be created. You have to pay yourself first. And I'm going to tell you how. It doesn't matter how much money you make. What matters is what you do with what you make. I'm going to repeat that, because some of us don't think that we make enough money to save, or I'm barely making ends meet, I can't save. It doesn't matter how much money you make. What matters is what you do with what you make. So, what do you mean by that, Delitra? You may ask yourself. Start to create self wealth. You must create systems that pays yourself first. And it's easy to do. I know you've heard that saying, you can't miss what you didn't have. And that is the truth. Where you pay yourself first, you start to put in systems in place so that you don't have it doesn't touch your hands and it goes right to whatever system you set up for that. So I'm going to give you some examples on how to make that happen. The act of making it happen is what really matters. So start to allocate, set aside about 10% of your pay. What I don't want you to get confused with is what they said they were going to pay you versus what you take home. So, what do you mean by that? You may be employed and have a job for that promised to pay you about $60,000 a year. Okay. But after you have your taxes and benefits taken out, you may actually only bring home 48,000 or so. When you think about it that way, then you start to realize why you may have issues making ends meet. Because in your head, you're thinking, I make $60,000. Why am I still struggling? Because you're not actually bringing home $60,000. So think about that and how you transform that. But in the process of overcoming and transforming your financial position, you've got to pay yourself first. So you become the first bill that you ever pay. And the best way to get that done is in step 2. Step 2, you must automate your finances. So, how do you pay yourself first when you're still trying to figure it out? You do it automatically. You create a system that automatically saves and pays your bills or other financial obligations. You do that by either visiting your bank or your HR department to arrange for a specific amount or percentage to be transferred from your regular checkings account, maybe where you have your direct deposit going, into a special fund that's allocated. That could be a separate savings account on a specific day. It can be at the same bank, or I prefer to have it going to a different bank, because when you send it to a different bank, and you start to accumulate those savings, then it's not a convenience for you to transfer it from that savings account back to the checkings account when you start to get a little low. You learn how to start living within your means and changing your financial habits. There's a few steps in between there, but just send me an email and we could connect on how to fill in the blanks, track your money so that you understand where that money is going. You also can create the same type of automatic savings plan to invest and to save for your retirement. Many of us who work jobs, we probably contribute to a retirement fund. Your job may offer a retirement fund. It can be a 401k, it can be a 403b, it can be a simple IRA, it can be any type of other retirement fund that you can contribute to. I encourage you to take advantage of that, because sometimes your employers will match your investment, which only helps you to grow your savings faster and pre-tax, which is a greater benefit for you. So now that's saving. When we create a system to automatically pay our bills, that is setting up those reoccurring bills for automatic payments. Some of these bills can be your mortgage or rent, car insurance, car payments. Reoccurring bills being paid on time helps increase your credit score. So when we can take the responsibility out of our own hands to manually do processes, we are setting ourselves up to start declaring financial freedom. So set those reoccurring bills up for automatic payment and watch your score start to increase, because you're going to have more on time payments. So the plan is in automating your finances to create a system to help you automatically save and pay your bills. The benefits are creating a savings and investment fund, increasing your net worth, improving your credit, and reducing your tax obligations. So Warren Buffett, one of my favorite people in the financial industry, says, "Don't save what is left after spending, spend what is left after saving." Step number 3 of 4, turn your passion into a paycheck. This is one of my favorites. Warren Buffett also said, never depend on a single income source. Make an investment to create a second, third, fourth source of income. Have multiple streams and sources of income. So we're going to talk about how we turn our passion into a paycheck, which is step number 3. Create additional income by just doing what you love. You don't want to take on another job and feel miserable by doing it. You want to do what you love. And I'm not telling anybody to quit their job, so don't say you heard that from me. But I will let you know that your job can help fund your dream. Turning your passion into a paycheck is making money by doing what you love. If you are a business owner and you still work a job that's helping to fund your business, that's awesome. If you and don't think of it as a burden. Look at it as, until I get to where I need to be, this job is helping to fund my dream. Start a business by selling the goods and services that you love to do. You may find something that you're good at, and people may already ask you, "What do you sell those? Do you make those?" And you may only do it for your own hobby. But if you love to do it and there is a market for it, think about making a little extra money by doing so. And remember, we don't always have to reinvent the wheel. There are direct sales and multi-level marketing businesses that help us make additional income. All you have to do is Google companies or direct sale companies for the things that you're interested in, and you may find someone that's out there and has a business already started from scratch, and it's less expensive for you to pick up that and start moving forward with it. So one of my personal quotes is, creating your own source of income is creating money that you control, opposed to letting your money control you. By relying on a paycheck from a job that can be here today and gone tomorrow. We all just went through a very hard year with dealing with the pandemic. Many people, over when we reached our peak, about 40 million people had lost their jobs. Over 300,000 businesses, small businesses, had closed. And if we can't relate to anything else, we know that things can be here today and people and loved ones and gone tomorrow. So live in the moment and enjoy what you love to do. Step number 4, create your legacy. Your legacy is what you will pour into the world that people will remember about you. My legacies are my children, my business, the books that I write, and I love to be able to tell people why they need to connect with me. It's because of my knowledge, my credibility. I show that through my community involvement, my collaborations, and my connections with other people and business owners. Those are things that people will, when you do a great job at it, people will remember about you. So start thinking about what your legacy will look like, because your legacy will be part of creating that generational wealth. Now, you may not have really thought about what generational wealth looks like, or you've heard the phrase used a whole lot about creating generational wealth. But I want to break it down to you so you really understand what generational wealth is. So generational wealth is a plan a long-term plan for future generations. So a generation is a group of people born around the same time. In our lifetime, we can see 4 to 5 generations. For me, I personally have seen 4 because I have maybe 5. Let me think about it, because I have my grandmother, my mother, myself, my daughters, and God forbid, if God allows me to continue to live on, I will see my grandchildren, and that will be 5 generations. So currently I see 4, and I have the potential to see 5 generations in my lifetime. So when you think about you being one person and how many generations you can really be impacted by your life, you have a huge impact on the world and a great legacy to live and build. So document how you will generate wealth for your generations through creating a wealth plan. So let me give you a few steps on what it looks like to create a wealth plan. You know those 4 to 5 generations that I just described? That can cover approximately 100 years or more. So I want you to think about writing your 100-year plan. If in fact you see yourself in the position that your grandmother would have been, because one day, if you are not already, you will be the grandmother, and you will have 4 to 5 generations coming behind you. So now you have the opportunity to document the plan to help build wealth for your future generations. And you can start working on that right now, whether it is owning real estate, starting your business, saving money, and putting aside money for future generations. Find a fiscally responsible family member to be your beneficiary and executor of your wills and trusts and life insurance policies. Create the estate plan with these must-have financial documents. This is how you start to build your generational wealth and your legacy. So when we talk about the secrets, we're getting ready to wrap it up now. The secrets of wealth stems from 3 different areas. It really can be 4. Let's talk about the multiple streams of income, compounding interest, which comes from investing and owning a business. So you can start to create wealth by having multiple streams and sources of income, compounding interest, that's the power of investing, and then owning a business, because you can create a business today that can help fuel generations to come. So this is what I want you to do when you are creating your legacy and thinking about how that looks moving forward. First, when you invest in yourself, this is different than paying yourself. Invest in yourself to grow yourself mentally and to grow your business. Read at least 30 minutes per day on a topic that you want to gain expertise on. Attend classes, seminars, conferences, workshops like this. Get a coach and a mentor so that you can help not waste time. Or we always are going to make mistakes or have trials and errors that we go through. But wouldn't it be nice that we could avoid some of those things by just connecting with the right people, or people who have been through it already that's willing to share their knowledge with us? So connect with someone that can help do that for you. One of the things that I've recently, one of my latest projects is called Girl Hold My Purse. It is the financial survival guide for women. And this book I decided to write because I want women to know a lot of the things that we just talked about. I want you to be able to ask the question and refer to this guide and understand a little bit more about it so that you can go ask more questions. This guide talks about credit, budgeting, savings, life insurance, investments, wills and trusts, starting a business. It's full of much needed information for women. And I encourage you, if you are interested in learning more, you want to grab you a copy of this book, simply shoot me an email and I will send you a link. Just refer that we met here, and I'll make sure I get a copy out to you. But 2 of my other favorite books on wealth and mindset are Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki and Think and Grow Rich. I can give you a list of books to add to your reading log, but these three books, my own book, Girl Hold My Purse, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Think and Grow Rich are my top favorites right now. So when you invest in yourself, properly insure yourself, making sure that your family and assets are always insured, um, own property, making sure that we start to get settled and we stop renting. You're giving your money away when you rent. Connect with a real estate agent who can walk you through the process so that you can have a good experience. Connect with a financial person who can help you prepare the foundation for your finances to position you to be ready to buy property, and making sure that you are building off of that for not just yourself, but your family and your business. And tip number 3 with creating legacy is invest in the things that you like. So if you find that you are someone who likes fancy handbags, invest in companies that make fancy handbags. And that is one way to start creating that compound interest, ownership in companies, and starting to build wealth for you and future generations. So, with that being said, I want to leave this message with you. We will be known forever by the tracks that we leave. So making sure that we implement steps to take control of our money. Let me help you create your personalized financial freedom blueprint. Contact me for a 30-minute complimentary financial empowerment session. If there is anything that you heard today and you just don't know where to get started, let's connect. Visit my website and apply today. There is a link, and it is bit.ly /empowerment session. That's bit.ly/empowerment session. And you can apply for a 30-minute complimentary financial empowerment session. And we'll just talk through some of those things to help put you on the right track. So when you apply for a session, I am willing to give you a free gift. I want to use the power of I am to help you release the power of your money. I am giving away a free copy of my motivational financial declaration affirmation to anybody who applies for a 30-minute financial empowerment session with me during this session. And I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you. I thank you so much for your time. I thank you so much for your attention. And I thank you so much for trusting me with the information that I have to give you. Again, my name is Delitra Hudson, the financial educator, owner of Delitra Hudson LLC. And I can be found on all social media as Delitra Hudson, or send me an email, delitra@delitrahudson.com. Until next time, I wish you many blessings and much prosperity.
My name is Constance Carter, and I absolutely declare greatness. I declare greatness over my life. I declare greatness over your life. But I want to talk to you today about how to declare wealth over your life and over your family's life. So just to give you a little bit of background information about me, I'm Constance Carter, and I'm the owner of Catalyst Real Estate Professionals. We are the largest African-American owned real estate firm in California. I've gained a pretty good amount of success and been able to create wealth and legacy for my children. But it hasn't always been that way. Just a few short years ago, I was bankrupt. I filed bankruptcy. I've lost homes. I've been homeless. I was in situations where my cars were repossessed. I foreclosed on properties. And I was just in a really bad space. I had a 379 credit score. Let me tell you one more time. I had a 379 credit score. And it was through those hardships that I used them to create that as a platform to help other people to be able to reach their dreams. So when I filed bankruptcy, it was one of the best times and one of the worst times in my life. It was one of the worst times because I felt like I had failed. I failed my family. I failed my team. I failed myself. I'd gotten myself in a situation where I had overextended myself and I could not get out. But I use that platform, I use that hardship as a tool to help other people. So what I ended up doing is I used the 379 credit score and I wrote a book on credit. I utilized the bankruptcy and what I learned from that experience, and I started helping others financially. And one of the things that I know for sure, that if you help other people to become successful, then you too are successful. And that's where the biggest amount of my success has come from, is just helping others. But I want to discuss 3 ways for you so that you can start investing in yourself, so that you can build wealth and you can create a legacy for you and your children. Because I've been at the bottom. I've been all the way in the middle, and I've been somewhere at the top as well. And I know that if I can do it, you absolutely can do it too. So the first thing that we need to do if we want to create wealth and legacy, because I don't know if you know that there was a Forbes magazine article that said by the year 2053, Black wealth was going to be a 0. And I believe that we can overcome the wealth gap with simple things that we can do. So if you declare wealth and legacy, number 1, speaking it, but the things that you can do in order to create wealth for your family, number 1, investing in real estate. 80% of wealth in this country is generated through real estate. That's one of the easiest ways that you can build wealth. And there has not always been a time that us people of color have been in positions to be able to buy real estate, but today we can do that. The second thing that we need to start doing is we need to start investing in ourselves. Now that's starting businesses. And I know that there are so many people who are looking to start businesses today. I know that there are so many people that God has placed something on the inside of you that you think that it might be too hard, or you're too afraid to fail, or you may be even afraid of success. Start that business today. Right now, we are in the best time in the history of this country because we have access to everything that's around us. We have access to the internet. We have access to Google. We have access at our fingertips. I was talking to a billionaire the other day, and one of the things he said is we have more technology in the palm of our hands with our phones than when they put the man on the moon. So there are things that you can do in your life today that can help you to create a business so that you can create a legacy for your children. If COVID-19 has taught you anything, it should have taught you that we absolutely cannot be dependent on one source of income. We absolutely cannot be dependent on our job. And there are many things that we can do online so that you can start investing in yourself. Utilize your intellectual property. Start doing the things that you're really good at. Create a business around it. There's so many ways and so many things that you can do to start creating a legacy for yourself that wasn't available or wasn't accessible in the past, but is accessible today. Number 3 is start investing in and diversifying your portfolio in things like stock, bonds, mutual funds. I read an article on the internet. It was done by Ariel Investments, and they said that only 15% of people of color actually invest in their 401ks at work. And so if only 15% of us are actually investing, well, that's the reason why our wealth gap is so great, because we're not diversifying our portfolio. So those 3 things that you can do in order to start investing in yourself so that we can start creating wealth and legacy for our families. But I want to make sure that you get through the fear factor, the things that have stopped you from being able to do what it is that you want to do. Because with any amount of success, there are certain things that need to be done so that you can create the life of your dreams. If you want wealth and legacy for your family, there are things that need to be done that you have to overcome. If you want to live your best life, there are things that have to be done, and you have to go through the fear factor. And let me tell you what the fear factor is. F, you will fail. I failed many times. Remember in the beginning, I said that I filed bankruptcy. Remember, I've lost homes. I've been homeless. I've been in every situation possible that you can think of. And if you're afraid to fail, then you're not going to be successful. The biggest thing that you need to do is when you fail, make sure you fail forward. Make sure you pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, and try again. Failing is only your education, and failing is the best thing that you can do to create success in your life. So listen, generating children and my children's children. How many more people can you help when you're in a better position? And that's what wealth and legacy should be about for you. But there are 5 steps. There's 5 things that we must do. And I call it the fear factor, or overcoming your fears. And there's things with anything, whether it's generating wealth, whether it's being the best you that you can be, whatever it is, there are things that have to be done that you have to go through in order to get to the other side. I call it the fear factor. So F, you must be willing to fail. I failed. Like I said, I filed bankruptcy. I've been homeless. I have foreclosed on properties. There's a lot of things that have happened in my life, but you cannot be afraid to fail. Fail forward. Use that as a learning tool. Listen, every situation, every stepping stone is like boot camp. It's like training. That failure is a lesson. Thomas Edison said he tried to, it took him 10,000 tries to create that light bulb, right? And he said, it's not that I failed 10,000 times. It's just that I found 10,000 ways that simply don't work. It's not a failure. Keep trying. If you ever heard of the formula 409, the counter, the cleaner 409. Well, the reason why it's called 409 is because there were 408 other ways or formulas that didn't quite work, and it worked on the 409th try. If you ever heard of WD-40, 39 ways it didn't work. So a failure is only a lesson, and it's a necessary lesson in your journey to success, to greatness, to wealth. You probably will fail, and it's okay. Pick yourself up and move forward. The E in the fear factor is embarrassment. And listen, if you ain't willing to be embarrassed for it, then you don't want it bad enough. And when you think about the reason why you're doing it, and it's not just about you, it's about your family, it's about your children, it's about what you want to leave. If you want to leave a mark on this earth, then there may be some times that you might be embarrassed. Maybe God has placed something on the inside of you that you've always wanted to do, and you know that that is your purpose in life, but you're afraid, and you think that you'll be embarrassed, or maybe you think that you'll fail and fall flat on your face, and all those naysayers that said, I told you so, will come out the woodwork. I've been embarrassed for it. I've been a fool for it many a times. People talk about me all the time, but I know that if I'm not willing to be embarrassed for it, then I do not want it bad enough. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with looking like a fool. I'm okay with getting knocked down, because when you come out on the other side, you're going to come out much stronger for it. A is you have to be willing to go all in. What I mean by going all in, there's no plan Bs. So when you think and when you're focused on something and the purpose is greater than you or what you think, and God is, again, he gave it to you. So when he gave it to you, that means it's something that you're supposed to be doing. And the road might not be paved with golden steps. It might be paved with thistles and thorns and hardships and heartache. But that's okay, because you know that God has placed it on the inside of you. And you have to be willing to go all in for it, because you know on the other side of that journey is going to be greatness. You know on the other side of that journey is going to be success. You know on the other side of that journey, you're going to reap your reward. And for you in this situation, it's going to be a legacy for your family and for your children that you will be able to see. You see, there's enough abundance out there for everybody in the world who wants it. You just have to want it. And if you want it, all you have to do is go for it. But you got to be willing to go all in for it. R, you got to be willing to take a risk. Without any risk, you will receive no reward. I've lost thousands of dollars taking risks, but I've made millions also taking risks. So if it's something that you want and you want it bad enough, be willing to risk it. Don't risk it if you can't handle risking it. Don't risk it if risking it and losing it is going to cause a hardship, a true hardship. If you're going to commit suicide by risking it, don't throw the whole everything on it. Don't put the house on it if you can't afford to put the house on it. I don't do any risks that I know that I can't come back from. Make sure you take calculated risks. And I'm going to throw an S on there and call it fears. You got to be willing to have those sleepless nights. So whatever is on the inside of you, like I talked about, creating a business for yourself, being an investor, doing something that's bigger than what you are. Sometimes you're going to have those sleepless nights. Sometimes you're going to have to go all in, all wealthy, in order to get whatever it is that they need to get. You have it inside of you. And again, it's not just about the money. It's really about what you can do for your family, what you can do for other people, and how you can change the world. And if it's in you to change the world, then you absolutely should be able to do it. So listen, on your journey to success, on your journey to wealth, on your journey to greatness, you may fail. That's okay. Pick yourself up and try again. You might be embarrassed, but if you ain't willing to be embarrassed for it, then you don't want it bad enough. Go all in. Remember why you're doing what you're doing. Remember your purpose that God has given you. Don't be afraid to take a risk. And sometimes you're going to have those sleepless nights. And even though you have those sleepless nights, it's okay. Because when you wake up in the morning, when you finally do go to sleep, you're going to see some success. One of my favorite scriptures is, I don't know where it comes from in the Bible, but it says, "Don't be weary in well-doing, for in due season you will reap your harvest, if you faint not." So on your journey to success, it's going to feel like you're casting your pearls among swine. It's going to feel like you're not getting there quick enough. It's going to feel like you're not being supported. It's going to feel like, you're going to question yourself. Is this what I'm really supposed to be doing? And guess what? It is. That scripture says you will reap your reward if you faint not. So keep going, keep striving, keep doing whatever you have to do, because it's not just about you. It's about your legacy and your family. I'm Constance Carter, and I declare wealth over your family and your legacy.
Join us on our mission to inspire women all around the world. My name is Dr. Jennifer Harris, and I'm a 2-time suicide survivor. I'm also RE/MAX Hall of Fame real estate broker, entrepreneur, best-selling author, coach, and mentor. And one of the things that I realized on this journey is that as women, we need to be inspired. We need a sisterhood that will come together and help us declare more. Because as women, we can do more and we can be more. And it doesn't make me feel comfortable talking about being a suicide survivor. It doesn't make me feel comfortable talking about my failures. But one thing I noticed is that failures will lead you to be more fearless. So we're looking for transparent women who are looking to change lives through their story and all around the world. Not only transparent women, but those women who have overcome some things and are still overcoming and are looking to help change the lives of other women. And if that's you, then I want to invite you to be a part of this I Declare Journal initiative. And it is an initiative where this journal is going to be placed in the hands of women all around the world that's going to hear your heartbeat, that's going to hear your story and be able to help you transform their life. So sis, if that's you, then go to www.ideclareauthors.com. That's www.ideclareauthors.com. And we will see you on this I Declare journey, because we need you, our sisters need you, and most importantly, I need you. And I see you there.
Thank you so much, Jennifer Harris, for allowing me to, grace your platform and speak on behalf of our sisters today. My name is Lanika Scott, also known as the Millionaire Mom, and today I want to share some things that are on my heart that I really believe can help my sisters that are pushing forth in business. You have dreams, you have goals, you have a vision, that God has placed on the inside of your belly, and you desire to see it come to pass. And so my message today is, I declare you shall be the first. Now, let me go back and give just a little bit of background information about me, just a little bit, so that you may know a little bit of who you may be listening to today. Started out with very humble beginnings. Didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. In fact, I grew up, my mom was a single mom, and she had 3 children that she took care of. She worked very hard, and I saw her working 2 or 3 jobs, times just to put food on the table. And I really believe that was one of my launching points, or something that really got a hold of me, inside of me, saying, I gotta do better. And so fasting forward, my husband and I, we've been married for 25 years to this day. We had our 5th child, and I'm working in corporate America, and I said, gosh, there's got to be more. I remember seeing women, Grace magazines, and they talked about how they had left corporate America, and now they were in their own business. They were operating their own business. And something really pulled me, and it stood out for me. And I always had been in the mindset, if they did it, then so can I, right? And so I started, pushing forward in business and entrepreneurship. And after 1 year, after being home, building a business from home, we hit our first 6 figures in the industry. Now, fast forward up until now, right, 2020, we're at a time right now where so many people, they're looking for other options, and they're saying, there's got to be another way. I see women making it happen, just as I saw other Grace platforms really just doing it, right? Fast forward here today, I am an 8-figure income earner. Yes, I'm a multimillionaire. I'm just so thankful that I'm here today just to share. And the reason why I call this message, or shall I, say that I even put the title, I declare that you should be first, because I am a first generational multimillionaire. Yes, was able to bust through barriers to make it happen. It was not always easy, but let me tell you, it is worth it. So today, I just wanted to talk to you just from the topic that, or shall I say, I want to highlight a few bullet points for you. Number 1 is, you have to be brave and you have to be courageous. That's how all of those goals that's on the inside of you, that vision that God has placed on the inside of you, that you have to birth through the world, right? Because wealth is generated when you provide a solution to the problem. So you have that solution on the inside of you. Now it's about getting your story out and sharing it with the world. And as I was looking at and meditating over the scripture today, I wanted to share the scripture with you, and I want you to jot it down. I want you to take notes. For those of you who are taking notes, make sure you write back in it, but also go back and listen to some of the other translations in the Bible, where in Joshua 1:9, it says, have I not commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be dismayed, before the Lord God is with thee, and get this, wherever you go. And so as I was launching out in my business, there were times when I did get afraid. I wasn't as brave. I didn't have courage all the time. But then once I realized and recognized, wait a minute, it is God that is helping me do this thing. It is God that is helping me drive the vision. Now, so then you start to posture up, right? A little different, right? There you go. I see my women now, my sisters, they're starting to posture up and say, you know what? I can do this. I am great. I am good enough. I am worthy, right? My story does matter. Yes, your story does matter. I can hear you, right? Even as I'm sharing today. And so I wanted to also just look at the word bold for you. Because sometimes we tend to hear of a word, but then we hear it again, you know, even as the word of God tells us, the faith coming by hearing and hearing by the word of God. So we may hear it one time, but then it may hit a little bit when you hear it the second time, or even the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh, right? And so I know that this is an area. Why do I know that this is an area that God wants you to begin to operate in differently? Because even as we see so much that's happening in the world today, right now, the millionaires, the multimillionaires, and the billionaires, they're going to be birthed because they're going to take a bold stand, right? Where my sisters that say, yes, I am going to be bold. I am going to be the first. I'm going to be the forerunner. I am going to be the trendsetter, right? I am going to be that pioneer that's going to break through and accomplish the very things that God has placed on the inside of me to accomplish. When I look up the word bold, it says adventurous, right? It says the nerve, the audacity, right? Where my, sisters that have some audacity, right? Gusty, hardy, right? They're also venturous, enterprising. Can you see yourself in those things? Then when I looked up the word courageous, because that's in the word that we just went over in Joshua 1:9, courageous, right? There's that word again, bold, brave, right? Fearless. Where's my fearless sisters at? Come on and raise your hand, right? You're fearless, right? Even in the times when maybe the attacks may come against you and your vision, maybe during the times when people may say, oh, wow, this sister have it going on, but then behind your back, you don't even realize that they may be stealing some of your vision, right? We're my bold sisters, but see, you're going to rise up above that in awe and say, I can go forth and I can still be the first. And even if I do get attacked, because you will, Jennifer and I was just talking about that, right? Even if people do come up against you, and they will, you can still emerge and shine boldness and bravery. Yesterday, I was looking at something. I'm one that will always like to reflect. I believe that that's really good. In order for you to go first, in order for you to be the first, you have to have a lot of time where you are reflecting. How can you learn from your experiences? How can you better yourself? How can you grow? How can you use the very things that may have come up against you in difficult times, right, to evolve and even to get better from? So I was having a moment of reflection, and what happened was very interesting. I'm the type of girl that like to look at Facebook memories. I believe that they tell a story. They also share how I've been able to evolve or grow. So I would encourage you to start to look at your memories, right? Not from the space where when you look at them, if you don't like what it was that you was doing, you get down or depressed about it. No, that's not what I'm talking about here. But I believe that you're to grow, you're to see, okay, where was I at this point? What did I learn, right? Am I making sense? I hope I'm in the right place, right? So as I was looking at a check that I had generated, you all, it was my first $15,000 check in the home-based business industry. And it really made me start to think about, wow, where I was at that moment. And so I said, I've got to pause for a moment and also release a word of wisdom to the individuals that may be connecting with me, may see the check. The check was generated 2009, right? I'm kind of dating myself, yes, because we did start out a while, and I'm going somewhere here. And the reason why I share that, because when you reflect and you see where you were, and then you begin to see what God has brought you from, then you also know that where you're at right now is another place where you can also project ahead and see, wait a minute, there's so much to be done. And so I was looking at the check, I began to think about some of the aspects that I want to share with you today, some of the things that will allow us to stay in a place. And when I say us, a lot of times I'm talking about my husband, right? But allow me to stay in a place where I'm rooted, grounded, still about my business, still accomplishing goals, right? And so I want to share some of those things with you as we're talking about you being the first. And that was, you have to stay in your lane. You gotta stay in your lane. You know, guess what, my sister, there's the grace in your lane and nobody else will have that grace. I feel something on that one, Jennifer, right now. I really do. So the grace will be in your lane. You know, don't get distracted by others will do. You know, how beautiful their websites is, how beautiful their tagline is, their slogan, whatever it is, you know, how beautiful their hair weave. Yeah, I'm rocking the weave today. Don't get distracted by that, because one thing that I've shared across stages as my husband and I traveled, and I could literally feel people clinging on to that particular sentence or fragment, and that is this: your message is not for everybody, but your message is for someone. So we find ourselves in a place where we're getting so distracted, and now we're not in our lane, but we're in somebody else's lane. The very things that God has for us, it won't be birthed. So that's number one. Stay in your lane. No matter how pretty a person is, how beautiful, how bad, you know, she got it going on, I will always be one to encourage, cheer her on, you know, give her some dap, give her a high five, pray for her, push her, you know, say, yes, you can do it. You can accomplish, right? And those types of things, what happens is God say, okay, I see that. And then there's now even a blessing that is also added to thee. Another thing that I wanted to share as you are being, another thing that I wanted to share as you go first, as you make this decision that I am doing it, I can accomplish this, you have to be consistent, right? You have to be consistent, hands down, you have to be consistent. Being consistent has been one of the main attributes that I know that has allowed me to be able to break barriers in business and even hardships. And so I encourage people, I encourage you to be consistent, whether you like it or you're not. Some days are going to be better than others, but I'm telling you, as you are consistent, you're going to see the seeds that you put in, and those seeds will become a harvest, and that harvest will be one where you will be able to enjoy. Another thing that I want to talk about to you as you are pushing forward to be the first is humility. I want to make sure that if I don't impart anything, as God elevate you, as God open doors for you, as you get different engagements and different opportunities to even speak, even like this one, when my beautiful sister reached out to me, I said, wow, I'm so thankful, right, to even be able to bless someone. Stay humble. Humility, it is beautiful. And there's always something to be learned or gained through knowledge, through someone else, right? True humility is staying teachable no matter how much you know. So also remember, as God elevate you, right? And as you bust through barriers in business and entrepreneurship, and as you're looking through your bottom line and you begin to see statements that you've never seen before, where you see the $30,000 right there, and then that $30,000, it would grow into $60,000, and then you see the $60,000 and now grow into $120,000 right in your account. I'm not talking about just what you're bringing in, but I'm talking about profit, right? And then you see that 120,000 now it grows into 1.2 million. Come on, somebody. And you see that 1.2 million right in your bank account growing to 2.4 million. And I'm saying this because I want somebody to get it. You got to see it before you can see it. In order for you to be that first, you got to see it, right? Before I was the millionaire mom, in terms of the tangible income coming into my life, I called myself the millionaire mom. You got to see it. So I shared that with you so that you can see it, right? You can visually see that thing. But as God take you and elevate you and promote you, you have to remain humble, okay? You have to remain humble. And I'm going to close with this: ownership. Ownership is so important. Having a firm, unshakable belief in yourself, it is the ultimate of importance. All success starts and ends with you. We teach our team, we teach our organization, we teach our children, yes, our 6 beautiful daughters. I'm going to hold a picture up so that you can see them right there. I'm always talking about them because that was my why. We teach them, if it's to be, it's up to me, right? So try it, right? You got to affirm it daily. Insist that you can never escape personal responsibility. And at the end of the day, I want you to believe it. I want you to execute it. And my sister, I want you to own it. This has been my time. I hope and pray that you've gotten something out of it, because I declare you to be the first. Signing off, Lanika Scott, the Millionaire Mom.
My name is Sharice Richards. I am super excited to be with you for the virtual conference that's for Black women, by Black women. I want to start off by first saying thank you to Dr. Jennifer Harris for having me as a speaker on this amazing platform. I'm super honored and grateful for this opportunity. So I hope you're ready. Sit back, take some notes, because I'm going to be talking about something that is near and dear to all of us, and that is our money. So I'm going to share my screen and get right into the presentation. My topic is healthy, wealthy, and wise. I declare independence for my bank account. Can I get a hello? Amen. I know I can't see you, but you can see me, you can hear me, so you can say it on your end. I declare independence for my bank account, because that's what we're doing in this conference, right? We're declaring independence over various aspects over our life. And I believe that if we're going to truly live a life of abundance, right, it's going to require us to be healthy, wealthy, and wise in every area of our life. So again, as I said earlier, my name is Sharice Richards. I am a wealth educator. I am a wealth strategist, and I'm here to really highlight the importance for you, for us, for our community to protect our income, eliminate debt, and create a legacy for our children and our children's children. That is so important. So like I said, make sure you have pen and paper, take some notes, because it's going to be a lot of juicy information. So how I ended up here, just really briefly, is that about 15 years ago, I got exposed to this industry of entrepreneurship, specifically direct sales and network marketing. It was brand new for me because previously I was working in the federal government as an IT project manager, had no experience in business ownership, network marketing, speaking to people, but I was super excited about the journey ahead. And so fast forward, my husband and I started to be very successful in our company and make millions of dollars. And I was very clear, at least we were very clear, that we did not want to have all of this money and have nothing to show for it but material things, right? We didn't want to just spend all of this money on cars and bags and clothes, the material things and depreciating assets, right? And so we became super focused on seeking out wise counsel so that we could understand how to not just make the money, because we knew how to do that. We were very blessed to be able to make, again, millions of dollars, but we wanted to understand how to preserve that money and then put it in vehicles where we can begin to expand that money, right? And that's what we have to start thinking about as Black women, Black men, as a Black community. And so our financial advisor really set us down and began to educate us on how money works. And so what I'm going to share with you is a lot of what I learned and what we actually put into place for ourselves, for our children, so that not just we could, really hold on to the money that we were making. I know sitting down, getting that information, I'll tell you guys, I was blown away because I'd never heard of it before. I knew what I knew, but it's what I didn't know that was holding me back as it pertains to money. And so I got super passionate about, sharing this information with people who look just like me. And so I went out and I got licensed, I got educated in these financial concepts and started sharing them with my family members and friends so that they could protect their income, eliminate debt, and create a legacy or generational wealth for their families as well. And so I think, again, it's so important, but the first thing is that we understand how money works. And so let's look at this, guys. Let's look at how we declare independence for our bank account and what, this conversation is all about, right? When I talk about being healthy, wealthy, and wise, first, think about this. A healthy lifestyle, people know, right, that you need a solid plan for exercise and for eating right? If we want to lose weight, we know we have to move more and eat less, right? We get that. But what most people don't understand is that a wealthy lifestyle is going to require a solid, diversified financial fitness plan. I'll say that again. A wealthy lifestyle is going to require a solid, diversified financial fitness plan. It has to be diversified, and you'll understand what I mean by that as I get further into the presentation. And then we have to make wise choices for financial literacy and wealth creation. Guys, I only knew what I knew. And what I realized when I sat down with that financial advisor almost 10 years ago was that I was on the wrong path for financial freedom and retirement, right? A lot of times people think about getting to retirement, living their best life, having all of this money so they can travel the world. Well, that requires planning, right? And so many people, they don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan. And so that's why I'm here to help you create a solid plan so that when you get to retirement, whether it's at 65 or earlier, that you know exactly what that number needs to be, and you'll start to put things in place to ensure you get to that number, okay? And so let's talk about the issue and why this conversation is so important. The U.S. household debt, it is a big issue. And these numbers that I'm going to share with you may seem staggering, and they are, but, so many people fall into this category, right? Over 44 million Americans hold a total of $1.5 trillion in student loan debt. I'm working with some colleagues now to help address the student loan crisis, specifically for our students who are attending HBCUs. It's a problem, right? And then $1 trillion in credit card debt. 43 million Americans have medical debt. 8.8 trillion in mortgage debt. 1.2 trillion in auto loan balances. And then American households collectively hold $14 trillion in debt. It is a staggering problem. A staggering number and a big problem. And here's the reality I want you all to really understand. If we're going to build wealth, if we're going to create generational wealth, we're going to have to eliminate debt. We cannot, owe other people money and create generational wealth. And that's why I'm so passionate about showing people how they can get out of debt in 9 years or less without spending any additional money that you're spending today. And that's including your mortgage. And so let's look at, the average American household has about $250,000 in debt. But get this, for every dollar that we earn, most Americans spend 34% in interest. That's anything that you finance, from your car to your mortgage, student loan, any bill that you owe someone else. 34% of every dollar goes to that. 40% is going to taxes. That leaves about 26% left over. The bulk of that goes to your lifestyle, right? Housing, food, clothes, vacations, fun things that we like to do. And then most people are saving what they have left over. And I like to call that paying yourself last. There's no way that you're going to be able to build wealth paying yourself last. And what I share with people is that saving for your future is just as an important bill as paying for that credit card, right? When you bought something that you didn't need, right? And so here's the thing. Where I come in is I have a different conversation with people. I talk about the concept of building your family bank, right? It's an approach where we focus on the right side. We're going to eliminate the debt, right? We're going to eliminate the money that you're spending to these lending institutions. So we're going to reduce the amount of interest that you're paying. We're going to reduce the amount of taxes that you're paying too with this strategy, because we know we need to pay Uncle Sam. But what are some legitimate ways that we can minimize the amount of money that we're paying in taxes, right? And so that leaves more money to increase your lifestyle and save more money, right? What if you want to upgrade your home, upgrade your car, right? If we can get rid of, the interest that we're paying on outstanding debt, minimize taxes, then we can do that, right? And so that's where I differ from traditional financial advisors, because traditional financial advisors kind of focus on the money that you have left over, right? Your lifestyle money. And so they're having conversations with you like, cut back on the amount of miscellaneous spending that you're doing. Stop getting your hair done. Stop eating out as much. Stop, some of the fun things that you want to do. Listen, we've been quarantined for a while now with this pandemic. Most people are ready to live their best life. And I'm not saying go out and spend all of your money, but we want to go out and be able to eat when we want to, get our hair done and get our nails done. I don't know about you guys, but, not spending or cutting back on the things that I enjoy doing is not a conversation that I even want to entertain, right? And I'm sure you all would agree. And so most people don't really understand that the way that they're paying their mortgage and, paying taxes and, saving for retirement or even saving for major capital expenses are major wealth transfers, right? I'm not going to go into detailed, but just understand this. Most people, I was guilty of this too for a long time. They want to send extra money to their mortgage company so that they can pay off their home faster than 30 years, right? I was like that too. I would send an extra payment at the end of the year so that I could, speed up the time that I paid off my home. Well, here's the reality, guys. First of all, why are you rushing to pay off your home, right? Sending that extra money is being tied up into your home, right? And that means that the money is not liquid. So when you need the money, the bank is not going to say, oh, you've been making these extra payments. We have, $50,000 tied up in the equity in your home. Here you go, right? That's not going to happen, right? You can have hundreds of thousands of dollars tied up in equity in your home because you're speeding up by paying extra mortgages, but that money is not liquid. And if you want to get access to that equity, then the bank's like, fill out an application. Let me check your credit. You may qualify to refinance and get the equity out, or you may not, right? So that's an area that we look at. Again, how you pay your taxes, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Qualified pay plans. Just think about this question. Do you think taxes are going to be higher or lower or stay the same in the future? And so when I talk about qualified plans, I'm talking about your 401k, your 403b, your 429 plans that you have with your employers. Those are plans that people contribute significant amounts of money to because they were told to put money away for retirement, which is a smart thing to do. But is the qualified plan, is deferring taxes until the future the best decision to make, right? Especially when you go back to my question, do you think taxes are going to be lower, higher, or stay the same in the future? We'll talk about that a little bit later. And then college planning, I took a very different approach to say for my children's education. Most people choose a 529. For me, that didn't make sense. I address this when I meet with individuals one-on-one. And then again, how you pay your car payments, your credit cards, things of that nature. Just know that most people, because of lack of financial education and really understanding how money works, are transferring money from their home, from their generational wealth bucket to these financial institutions, and it has to stop. Okay, so what if I could teach you how to reduce the volume of interest that you are paying to your lenders, get out of debt in 9 years or less, including your mortgage, without paying any additional money that you're spending today, improve your cash flow, decrease taxes, help you save for college for your children, and then retire with a tax-favored income. Again, would you want to pay taxes today or at some point in the future? And so one of the biggest things that I do is, or where I start with individuals, is really help them identify ways that they're spending money unknowingly and unnecessarily, right? Looking for ways to save money and be efficient with your dollars, right? So that you can start having your money work as hard for you as you work for your money. That's key. And then the other thing is minimizing debt, eliminating debt, right? If we're going to build wealth, we're going to have to eliminate the debt. So let's talk about how that gets done. And so when I work with clients, what they typically do is they add up all of their outstanding bills and they say, my total debt is this. This example here shows you a client that has over $180,000 in debt. They simply listed all of their bills, put the outstanding balances there, and added it up and came to $180,000. But when I showed them the interest that they would pay over 30 years to be completely debt-free, they were shocked. The real debt, when you factor in the interest, is over $380,000. So when I talk about money that's being transferred from your home to these financial institutions, for this family, that's over $199,000, almost $200,000 of their money that's being transferred to the financial institutions. I have so many families that are like, whoa, I never looked at it like that. And so what we were able to accomplish with this family is that, first of all, we were able to get them out of debt in just under 8 years. Remember, previously, it was going to take them over or almost 30 years to be completely debt free. We saved them $122,000 in interest. We improved their cash flow or increased their cash flow. So now they have $2,100 of additional money that they can now redirect towards their retirement. And if they save that money, that $2,100 for 30 years, that's over $1 million that they would have saved. And so when I talk about creating a Your Family Bank plan, it's a powerful concept. Because for this family, if they stayed on the path that they were on, they would have $306,000 after taxes for retirement. And if they retired at 65, that's not a lot of money considering people are living a lot longer these days. But with the Your Family Bank plan, they were able to grow their account to over $1 million, and that's tax favored income. And so if you had to choose, right, which one would you choose? It's pretty simple, right? It's a powerful concept that most people don't really understand. I was that way. And when I knew better, I was able to do better. And again, I became very passionate about sharing this information with people that look like me because we simply do not know. And so let's take a closer look at, where people typically choose to park their money, right? Because when you think about, there's only several places that you can put your money so that it can grow for you, begin to work for you. But I want you to begin thinking about, is where I have my money sitting at right now the best possible vehicle for me based on the goals that I have? So in this example here, you start with a $10,000 investment over 28 years at a 7% interest. Your tax rate, say, is 25%. Looking at these three options here, is pretty clear that most of us would choose the vehicle that has the most amount of money after 28 years, right? Again, when you know better, you can begin to think better or do better. And so these vehicles where you can park your money, you have a tax account, tax deferred account, and then a tax-free account. So you may be thinking, what are these accounts, right? So your tax accounts are going to be the accounts at your bank, right? Checking account, savings account, money market, CD, those types of accounts, right? And we call them taxed because the banks give you pennies on the dollar for interest on your money. And then at the end of the year, they send you a statement where you have to pay taxes on the interest earned, on the pennies that you earned in interest on the account balances. Listen, if your money is sitting in the bank, or the majority of your money, or a significant amount of your money is sitting in the bank, we need to have a conversation because you're losing money to inflation. And then the tax deferred. Those are going to be your 401k, 403b, IRA, or individual retirement accounts, right? Where you choose to defer taxes, right? So you're like, I don't want to pay taxes today. I'll pay taxes sometime in the future, right? We don't want to do that, right? Because going back to the question around taxes I asked earlier, do you believe taxes are going to be higher, lower, or stay the same in the future? Most people I ask that question to, they agree that taxes are going to be higher in the future. So if taxes are going to be higher in the future, does it make sense to defer taxes until the future, right? Aha moment for me. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. When you know better, you can begin to do better. And then the tax-free is a powerful vehicle to park money, right? Those are going to be your Roth IRA, even though there's some limitations there. Or what most people don't realize is that cash value life insurance policies are an excellent way to really maximize the benefits of life insurance while you have life, right? And so, as we begin to wind down, let's talk about the potential risks that your money could be exposed to based on where you have your money sitting. And as business owners, you want to take this, very seriously, right? You want to consider all the risks, all the possibilities when you make decisions about where you're going to put your money, right? You got taxes, right? You got the market fluctuations. Market goes up, you're excited, it goes down, you're not. You have inflation. I touched on that earlier. Emergencies, right? What if you need access to your money, right? I'm a big proponent. I train this, I help people understand the importance of making sure where you put significant amounts of money is in a vehicle where you have liquidity, use, and control over that money, right? When you have an emergency, can you get access to that money if you're not old enough, right, to use it without penalty, taxes? I'm sure you guys know someone who's fallen into one of those categories. Disability insurance, lawsuit, fraud, outliving your money, or even death. Again, it's important to consider where you're putting your money. And so 3 phases of money I want to leave you guys with so that you really understand, again, how money works. Because when you understand the rules of the game, you can play the game to win. So maximizing, right? You want to look at how you're spending your money. Again, I said people are spending money unknowingly, unnecessarily. So are we maximizing every dollar and putting our dollars where it can begin to work for us as hard as we work for those dollars? And then with accumulation, you want tax-free accumulation and tax-free growth on your money. And then the last thing is distribution, right? What happens when you need access to your money? You want to make sure that it's free and clear of penalties and significant taxes as well when you go to get access to your money, whether it's an emergency or not, right? I like to have access to my money when I need access to my money for whatever reason, right? Again, remember, you want liquidity, use, and control over your money, and where you have it sitting matters. And so the big picture plan really is powerful, right? When you think about the big picture, you want to think about things like, when do I want to retire and how much am I going to need to retire? Because retirement is not about getting to 65. Retirement is about a number. And most people that I have a conversation with about retirement don't know what that number is. And so people don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan. And so the big picture allows you to plan effectively. You argue less about money. You're able to find wasted money, improve your cash flow. I showed you that example earlier. Dramatically increase your savings and your cash flow. Get out of debt faster than you ever thought was possible. You learn how to prioritize your accounts, and then you get to retire with a tax-favored income. And so, closing out this presentation, talking about the power of just being wise and just walking in wisdom when it comes to your money. You want to, gather information so that you can get a personalized big picture report for yourself. It's really a powerful document that really shows you in black and white where you are and where you need to be, right? And what's possible for your diversified financial fitness plan. I will have an opportunity, should you decide to analyze the data that you're able to gather, run the reports with your numbers, and show you a powerful picture of where you are. And then, create a roadmap for the goals that you have, short term, medium term, and then long term goals, right? For the next 5 years, 10 years, and then 20 years, where do you want to be financially? And so if this is something that, makes sense to you, you say, I'd love to get, that big picture report meeting. I'd love to schedule time with you, because for me, it's all about education. It's all about empowerment around your money, sharing with people how to protect their income, eliminate debt, and then create a legacy for their family. Like, people talk about wanting to create this thing called generational wealth, but how do you actually go about doing it? So I'd love to have a conversation with you. If this makes sense to you, you can definitely shoot me an email, and we can, have another conversation about what it would look like for you to create your diversified financial fitness plan. Guys, this concludes my presentation. It truly was an honor to be able to bring this information to you. Again, my goal is simply to educate and empower my community, our community, on how to truly build wealth for their families, their children, and their children's children. So I want to thank Dr. Jennifer Harris again for having me. It truly has been an honor. And guys, continue to enjoy the conference. Bye-bye.
I don't even know what to say. I am so overjoyed. We are here. We are declaring. I'm so proud and honored to be a part of such a wonderful platform. This is put on by Purses, Pumps, and Power. We can spell power, POWHER, if you want to, right? Why? Because we are here declaring, and this is a part of something that we all can be a part of for years to come. Don't let this experience pass you by. Make sure that this experience, you own it, you make it yours, and you increase it. So it's not just who's speaking to you today. There's so many powerful Black women going to be coming at you today, but it's not just about what we have to say, right? It's about what you have to do here. And you're not here by accident. This is intentional. You are deliberate. You are in control of your own destiny, and you are in the right place at the right time with the right people. And one of those people, of course, is you, right? So we're so excited to have you here. This is the Black Woman's Declaration of Independence. We can have our own Independence Day. We can create whatever we want to create. We are the mothers of the earth. And I'll be one to say mothers of the universe, but that's just me. Who is me? Me is Dr. O. My name is Dr. O. My Coffee. I'm an investor based in Dallas, Texas, and I'm coming to you live and in charge because I want to declare a lot of things with you today. When we think about our purpose and what we're here to do and why we're doing it and all of these questions, and we're answering and we're being the answer and we're being ourselves, and all of that being, there's still a core part of you. And today I want to teach you how to core based off your 10 figures. I love the opportunity with Purses, Pumps, and Power because they have 7 purses where they allow you to learn from these purses, take those bags and create whatever you want. I'm going to go over 10 figures, and it's something that I really, really want to share with you in a very unique way. So it may be a little entertaining, but take it as edutainment, because I love to train, I love to coach, but I like to bring value and I like to bring some excitement and fun into what I have to do today. Okay, so I hope you're excited. Get your pen, get your pad, got a little champagne or whatever it is that you do, your little water, your little whatever it is that makes your ambiance great. Please feel free to do that. I want to give you some time to get that stuff together. You can take notes on your phone. I know this information is going to be gathered. I'm sure it's going to be shared, or there's going to be a way for you to access it even after the event. But either way, you're in this moment right here, right now. And I always say, when is what? Now. When is always now. And the time that you create in that moment is what's going to help you set up your future. So we want to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to share my screen with you and go ahead and present with you today our program. And today our program, again, it's a straight title. You get to write this down. Put your first name on that piece of paper. Put your first name. We'll spell mine. OMAI, comma, 000000000. You can put that down. Your name represents all the zeros you'll ever have in your life when it comes to your finances and your wealth. But one thing that I want to talk about today is mainly your relationships. The way that I've obtained all of my wealth, became a first-generation millionaire, was through relationships. There was no way that I got it on my own. I always say, God-made millionaire, right? I'm a God-made millionaire. There are self-made millionaires, and kudos to them. I am a God-made millionaire. And the way that I was able to gain those millions was through strong, stringent relationships, through challenge. But most of the time it was always easy because it was a part of the purpose of my life anyway. And it is always a part of your purpose of your life to be very, very wealthy. That abundant spirit comes with you on the face of the earth, regardless. We always tell people wealth is your birthright, wealth is your civil right, and wealth is already naturally in you. Dr. O cannot give you her millions of dollars. What I can do is unlock the millions in you. I can unlock whatever you have and we can increase it together, but I can't give you my money. And a lot of women, especially Black women, we feel like the world is on our shoulders. We have to do everything for everybody else. If we don't do it, it doesn't happen, so on and so forth. And we have this programming, and I want to help you with that programming, and let's increase it and use it to our benefit versus just the benefit of others. And we don't have anything left for ourselves. We're going to get away from that, right? So my 10 figures is going to help you do that by honing in on your relationships. And the main relationship I want you to hone in on is the relationship that you have with yourself and the relationship that you have with your wealth. That is all one included package: health, wealth, mindset, you, all of that. All of this is a full package. It's you, right? And then that you goes into relationship with others, right? So let's get into it. So what's in your wallet is based off who's in your ear. So when we ask the question, who's in your ear, we want to know your top 3 or top 5 or top 10 go-to people. Who are the people that you speak with the most? They always say that if there's 5 millionaires and you're the 6th, or you're the 6th millionaire or whatever, if it's 5 of you guys, you'll be the next one, right? You're the next in line, depending on who you're around, who you're dealing with. Who do you see on your call log the most? What are you doing? Who's in your ear, right? So that's one thing that we want you to look at. One thing that I've done, and I've always said, I have one law of economics. You're either the next billionaire or you will work for one. That is my most infamous quote because it's a fact before facts get facts, right? So you're already working for someone. Why not work for yourself? And we're not just talking about in the power of making money. Everything is not always about making money. What it is about is making money and increasing that value and increasing your input on your wealth building life. And money is a part of that, and that's okay. But you're either the next billionaire or you're going to work for one. And what I mean by that is that those people that have the top 1% or the top 5 to 10% of the wealth, you are working for them in some kind of way because they own everything. And I'm not shunning that or speaking down on that. That's fine. But what we're talking about is your own personal stake to claim, right? This is your own personal time. So I have my 10 figures because 10 figures equals $1 billion. And who doesn't want to be a billionaire? you're already a billionaire, honey. Trust me, right? So as a first generation millionaire, I knew that I wasn't going to stop right there, right? I knew I had more to give as long as I have life to live. And that's just what I'm doing. And so when I think about my first project, it was Wealth Hackathon. I started doing stuff on number dates just to keep things in order. And one of these dates was 10/10/2020. Or, I even do some stuff now. We're doing Grow Your Portfolio. And what I do now is I do a wealth hackathon, and we grow our portfolio in stocks, or we grow our portfolio in options trading, or we grow our portfolio in cryptocurrency, either way. But in 2021, every 21st day of the month, I'm doing an event to push that narrative, to make sure that I'm consistent, make sure I'm on point, I'm on target, I'm focused. I know what I have going on. I know my calendar. I know my schedule, things like that. So setting up a cadence basically is what I'm saying. So if you search billionaires or millionaires or people with a lot of money or a lot of bandwidth, if you will, they have a strong cadence, what we call routine, what we call ritual, mindset, mentality. Those type of things are in order for them. It may not be the same as the next person, but there is a cadence. There is some similarities and a lot of similitude between these higher net worth individuals. So you can pick up on that nature. You may not have it all in your bank account, but you can build it all in your strategy and in your plan when you're ready, right? So we think about that, right? So where do they get this money from, right? Where can you build wealth from? You can build wealth in any industry. I said I'm in Dallas, Texas. There's an older lady here, African-American, beautiful sister. She declared her wealth, okay? And she sells, I don't mean to be offensive, but she sells maggots to the zoo. And she makes millions of dollars doing that because most animals at the zoo eat maggots. So that's how she built her empire. Elderly lady, based here, African-American woman, and that's the way that she's made her millions. So when I talk about industries, I don't want you to get stuck in any one industry. I love diversity. I love wealth inclusion and wealth diversity. And I want your portfolio to be outlandish. Warren Buffett, the billionaire, has 99 streams of income and probably more at this time, but there was one point in time where he had 99 streams of income. I have about 72 streams of income right now, and they may be anywhere between $5 a month to $14, million a month, minus taxes and interest and other fees, right? So anyway, I said that to say that whatever I'm about to say, don't get locked into one thing. Still have your open-mindedness and still go through the industry for you. You don't have to compete with other industries, and you don't even have to compete within your own industry, because as Black women, I would love for us to complete. We complete, we do not compete. You don't have to. So how did Mr. Jay-Z here with his nice smile make his billions? He made it through the music industry and investments. How did Oprah do it? Our queen, right? So how did she do it? She did it through media. How did Tyler Perry do it? He did it through film and television. So these people may be in the same era, but they all have a different stream niche on where they got their billions from. So I'm saying that to say you can create a strategy of where you're going to get it from. Have a source, right? And then that source branches out into other things. So as a wealth activist, and I am when I say I'm a wealth hacker, I will hack into wealth. You'll be talking to me about your trouble with your children. I'll find a way to finance it. You'll be talking about problems with your spouse, and I'll find a way for you to monetize it. Like I'm telling you, it's nothing more to me than hacking into your wealth. And I am your favorite wealth hacker, right? Again, my name is Dr. O. I'm the founder of the Board of Literacy. And this is why it's so crucial. And I'm so passionate about wealth building and financing and economics. And you are your own economy. You are your own bank. You are everyone's bank until you realize, REALEYES, that you're your own bank, right? I'm the founder of the Board of Literacy. We're a Finlet Foundation here based in Dallas, Texas. And we also have some stint in Georgia. And we are state funded by both Georgia and Texas. And just what that means is that we've gotten grants and sponsorships and stuff from the state so we can do our financial literacy with our youth. And we've been doing this technically since 2005. But if you want to stretch it to like where we got legal and we got legit, 2009, we really hit the ground running. And then here lately, we've been really making an impact by joining forces with people like yourself, schools, communities, and other nonprofit organizations, which I love. But our entire mission here is to raise the financial quotient of our youth. And we don't want to send rich children to broke homes. So we obviously help the family also build and establish that wealth. And we service one of the highest incarcerated rate zip codes in the state. And it's they call them underprivileged and underserved and all that. Really what they need are opportunities. And that's what we're here to do, provide opportunities. And when you're wealth building and you're building those 10 figures, whether it be through your 10 relationships or you be through your real 10 figures in your bank, you are going to have to understand your demographic, where you are. Your environment is crucial. Where you are within yourself and your health and your mindset, you're going to have to know what's going on. And so our Wealth Hackathon has been able to come up with basically our birth certificate, right? This is biographical. This is in you. Again, your DNA can be activated like that to be the wealthy person that you are. You best believe that your ancestors had a lot to do with you declaring today. And I'm so happy that you are declaring today. And this is your way to your freedom. And you can rewrite the code to your genetics. If you feel like, hey, I came from a past or a family that just wasn't up to par, in my opinion, or a family that brought me down, guess what? Speak to your DNA and change that code. If you came from a family where the DNA is tight and you want to get a little bit better, you can speak to that DNA and activate it so that you can get better, right? And so for me, when I was awarded, since we're talking about a Black woman's declaration today to our own independence, when I was honored by the United States Department of Labor during Women's History Month, which we know is in March, it was just like, wow, y'all really chose me for what? For my body of work, for what I've done for the community. And it was just really powerful. It wasn't like a whole lot of money involved. It wasn't the point. It was the impact that I was able to make by doing the work that God put in me, doing the work that I felt was best to move the needle for Black people, for my community, my family, my children, so on and so forth. And so with that being stated, I used to fly in African-American billionaires and millionaires into our city, and we teamed up with Mark Cuban's movie theater, and we were able to watch Black documentaries that talked about wealth and wealth building, what to do with money, what to do with investment opportunities. But instead of just watching the show, right, I wanted to get away from just the media side of it and the entertainment side of it. And I told you all before, edutainment is important. So I can educate you while I'm entertaining you, right? So we had African-American millionaires and billionaires come and grace the stage, grace the platform, and talk us through some of the opportunities that either they have been through or that they actually had on the table. And then we would do a pitch competition where if you had a business or an opportunity you wanted to pitch to get an investor, you got to do it live and right there. So it was called Community Economic Opportunity, which spells CEO. So we did that for a long time. And we always had about 80 to 300 people come out to our events once a month. And then I started streamlining them and making them much smaller, more impactful, and more useful to a smaller group of people so we can get that 100% ratio. If you have 1,000 people, maybe 10%, 25%, maybe even up to 50 to 60% may get what you're saying. The other ones kind of fall by the wayside. I wanted to reduce that by getting 100% impact through those events. So over the years, we've just gotten a smaller group of people, and we're still standing. We started doing that back in technically 2010 through 2011, built it out through 2013, and was running pack strong 2015 and above, and it morphed into what we're talking about today, Wealth Hackathon. That's where Wealth Hackathon got its birthright from. That's its birth certificate, right? That's the DNA of Wealth Hackathon. And our purpose of Wealth Hackathon is to make sure that you're able to hack into the wealth that you already have naturally inside of you. And to me, that's through relationships. So one other thing that I wanted to think about, first of all, on the side of the screen on your left side over here with all this money stacked up over there, that's $1 billion, by the way. That's what it looks like. People are like, do you know what it even looks like? Girl, you can say, yes, I do. Dr. O showed me during Wealth Hackathon and I saw that thing. But I'm saying this to say that you have to visualize and you have to know what it looks like for you. Maybe your wealth is not tapped into this fiat currency right here. Maybe your wealth is not tapped into this precious metals at the bottom, which is real money, God's money, non-man-made money, which came from God. That's what that gold represents. And that's $1 billion worth of gold, by the way. That's $1 billion worth of fiat cash, by the way. But it doesn't matter what we say, it's in you. It's in you. I remember when I first did this type of event and I really thought about it, and I thought about what were my 10 figures. My 10 figures wasn't wrapped in that fiat cash or this gold. My representative of wealth came from me looking through and looking back over all the wonderful relationships that I was graced with, from my children to my family to my sister and to those people who have made an impact on my life, whether I met them or I didn't. And a lot of times people think that you have to physically be in their lives for things to work and manifest, but that's just not true. You can speak a word right now today to someone that you don't know in another country, never meet them, and that word get to them and impact their life. That's a fact, right? So I think about that. And so we want that 10 digits, obviously, in our bank account too, not just in our relationships. But when I think about that, you know, you got 10 digits in your phone number. Wouldn't you like that in your bank account? Yes, yes, or yes. And I think I'll take it both, right? I'll take all of it. I'll take the relationships. I'll take the money. I'll take the gold. I'll take the fiat. I'll take the crypto. I'll take whatever it takes, because I know that I'm going to be a good steward over it. And I know I want to leave a legacy for the next generation. And I don't want them to go through struggle culture to get it. So what are you going to do with 10 figures anyway? You know, what do you do with 10 good, solid, powerful relationships? You're not complaining. They're not getting on your nerves. You're not ready to throw them out the window. You're not ready to block and delete them. You're not worried about them. What do you do with good relationships, right? You do good, right? And also, what do you do with 10 figures? What do you do with all that money? You do good. That's it. And so we're taking you through the study of what to do with 10 figures. Rather than drain your brain on how to make 10 figures, let's talk about what you do with it. I want you to take time during this or after this. You can stop listening to me for all I care. This is the most impactful part that you will receive today. When you're talking about a declaration and you want to declare independence with a notebook and a pad, or you can verbalize it, get you a video, record it for yourself. You never have to publish it and show the world what you have going on. You can keep it private for you. You can do a voice recording, talk to yourself, whatever you want to do, write it, speak it, make it plain. In the end, it will speak and not lie. And though it tarry, wait for it. But you're going to have runners come and run your vision for you because you made it plain. So this is your opportunity to make your 10-figure vision plain for you. How do you do that? Stop trying to figure out how to do it and just start doing it. That's it. You don't have to drain your brain on how to make 10 figures. Just go ahead and start planning what you're going to do with it. Get your little Excel spreadsheet, or if you have an iPhone, you can get the Google Sheets or the Numbers app or whatever, and you can start to put 10 figures up there, put all 10 figures up there, and then start doing, that's your income, and then start doing an expense sheet on how you're going to spend it. Why not? We talked about visualization earlier. So I want to walk you through a journey of my 10 figures, which are my mentors, and their similitude and how much alike they are and what makes them alike. So you can start to pick that up and detect that in you, because there's a lot of similitude that you have with these people, right? And maybe they have a different bank account than you, but the stuff that's inside of us, a lot of it is similar, right? So I'm going to show you 10-step plan of action on how you can implement this over the next 10 days, the next 10 weeks, the next 10 months, or the next 10 years, whatever your flavor. So the question mark is, are you worth 10 figures? Are you worth 10 figures? So at 10:10 a.m. Central Standard Time, I asked myself that question. You don't have to do that. That's Dr. O. But I asked myself, are you worth 10 figures? I'm standing next to Mark Cuban. We smiling, we laughing. He's 10 figures, I'm 10 figures, right? But it's just that mentality of knowing that I have the right stuff to be standing next to this person. I have the right stuff to get it for myself, whether this person was in the photo or not, right? So yes, the answer is yes, you are. Declare it. So one thing that I like to do, a strategy that I like to do, is break things down into 10 minutes. Break it down in 10 hours, break it down in 10 days, break it down in 10 weeks, break it down in 10 months, break it down in a decade. Where do you want to be in the next 10 minutes? People are like, girl, I don't even know. Shoot, 10 minutes is so fast. I can't even think that far. I mean, I can't even think that short, excuse me. Okay, try it. Have you tried it? 10 hours. Where do you want to be in the next 10 hours? You can speak that into existence, whatever you want in the next 10 hours. You can do it. Deadlines are important and they're critical and they're great when you're able to maintain your strategy and your planning and your goal making on the way there. Where do you want to be in the next 10 days, the next 10 weeks, the next 10 months? What's your decade like? We're in an ordinal decade, meaning that it starts 2021 through 2030. You have 10 years to get yourself 10 figures. You have 10 months to get yourself 10 figures, 10 weeks, 10 days, 10 hours, 10 minutes. And believe you me, your life can change in what? A twinkling, blinking of an eye. So the other question you want to ask yourself is, what are you going to do with it? What are you actually going to do with it? When I thought about this on 10/10/2020, I thought to myself, sheesh, that date's going to come whenever, right? The year might change, but that date's going to come constantly. What am I going to be doing once a month? What's my anniversary on this type of mentality? What am I going to do with it? Besides get real estate, hint, hint. Besides invest it, hint, hint. Besides get me some credit, hint, hint. Besides save it, hint, hint. Right? Besides all of that, what am I really going to be doing with it? Does it really matter to me? To me, it does, because I know what I want to do with it, but you've got to create that plan. So here's an opportunity for us to invest into 10 things right now. I'm huge in investments. I am an investor. I don't get any money from anywhere else except for my investments. So that's my full-time job. That is my career. That is my wake up and go to sleep. That's it for me. Maybe you're not in that realm just yet, but you still can take the energy as an investor and invest. You don't have to be an investor to invest, right? An investor makes you an investor. I think Robin Hood's slogan, or somebody's is, it may be some other app that says everybody's an investor. I think it is Robinhood. But anyway, one thing that I love are equity mutual funds. Everything that I'm saying, do your own due diligence, Google it, research it, get to know it for yourself, get comfortable with it. Don't go out there making crazy decisions just because some beautiful sister told you to, but just do this, what's real to you and what draws you into it, and start somewhere. And if you are already an investor, increase that like nobody's business in your own time, in due season, right? But anyway, equity mutual funds, debt mutual funds. Notice there's a system there, mutual funds. You can, these type of mutual funds you can look into are national pension systems. Pensions are itchy, don't get me wrong, but they are sustainable. Public provident fund, Google this stuff. Banked fixed deposits. Oh my God. Private equity is the best thing you could ever do in your life. Creating a family office, a trust, a foundation, a nonprofit. Those are the best wealth keepers that you could ever do. And they keep the IRS, no offense, out of your business. And you do not want them up in your business like that. When they come at you and ask you, hey, Dr. O, you got a little money for me? Nope. My trust fund owns all that money and they give me a little bit of a check. I don't have anything. I don't have nothing. Private equity is amazing. Real estate, obviously, I'm so excited. Dr. Jennifer is 13 years, decades plus in the game. Real estate, powerful industry. It's real estate. It's real. And there's nothing like it. People are like, I don't want a home. Don't nobody care about you. Don't live in it. Buy it and rent it out and get the income for yourself and stay in your apartment and let the renter pay your apartment rent. It's simple. You don't have to be in it. Just get in it. Okay. Gold, precious metals is really what I'm talking about. And silver is more valuable than gold. We have a precious metals firm that we've had for over 20 years, my business partner, David Wren, and myself. And we are so excited to teach, especially Black women, Black people, period, about precious metals and the value of saving in silver and saving in gold and rhodium and palladium and other precious metals. And the value is astronomically increased, way more than that fiat currency cash, right? And then RBI taxable bonds and ETFs. ETFs is just a bunch of stocks. So they put in one little purse, if you will, and they put it in there and then you buy all of them, but you just buy the purse and all of them are inside of there. That's what an ETF is. I don't know how else to explain that, but here are 10 things you can invest in right now. Research this. Google this. Take a screenshot of this. I'm going to give you a second to take this in. This is banking on your 10 figures. I'm telling you, because it's also a 10-figure mindset. And I'm not saying everybody that's a billionaire is in all these things. What I'm saying is that most people that are billionaires own all of this stuff. They own it. They control it. And then you get to buy in what they own. So how do you make 10-figure moves? And you're going to be able to do that in your mindset again, right? And in your relationships. And you're going to be able to do that in your bank account without having the 10 figures. There's a lot of deals that we do that we don't put all the money. It's $1 billion deal. We don't put $1 billion on the table. We show and flash a little bit of cash and we get those loans and stuff and all the money from other places, mainly private equity or trust. But either way, how do you make those moves is you start to make them in your mind. You start to write them out on your strategy. If it's a document, a whiteboard, or whatever the case may be, you build it. That's how you do it, right? So actually, after watching the film Billionaire Boys Club, which is an amazing movie, my neurons got popping like popcorn, right? I was excited. I was like, yo, the movie at the end gets a little weird, but the basis points was amazing, right? And so the opening line is, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. We've been talking about relationships more than anything here today. That's my way of wealth. There's no way I would have become a millionaire without it. That's me. That doesn't mean everybody. Some people have to get it another way. But anyway, the opening line is, it's not about the money. And it's not, right? The thing is, it's not all about the money. We do know money has a part in it, right? It's about the team. It's about the team. So how do you make 10-figure moves? You build a great team. What does your team consist of? The legal department is the best department you'll ever have, okay? Especially with a good lawyer, right? And that's what you want, a good team. Legal department, other money-minded people. It is so weird of us talking to people with little minds or jealous minds, and they think we're bragging about some stuff that we're just talking about our blessing, and they're listening with a jealous ear saying that we're bragging, right? So you want to make sure that you're around other money-minded people when you're dealing with money, or if you're dealing with, I don't know, whatever your industry, you want to make sure to be around others in that same zone. Community buy-in. It's nothing like having constituents to support your cause and have your back, even though they may not be interested in doing it like you or with you. They have your back, the fact that you're doing it at all. So having the community buy-in is huge, or a team of people, workers, employees, contractors, or whatever the case may be. And last but not least, the media and technology are some really amazing team members. Technology can help you automate your system, and the media can help blast that thing, right? So we want to talk about influence, impact, and inspiration. The media and technology are there for you. And so people talk about, you know, in the movie, like I said, in Billionaire Boys Club, we talked about, it's not about the money, but it is about the power. It is about the power. There's even a scripture in the Bible that talks about God is not about talk. God is about power. And when I read that scripture, I think it's in 2 Corinthians. I don't remember exactly which chapter, but it was like, whoa, God is not about talk. God is about power. And remember, we talked about that earlier, right? POWHER, you. So that's what you want to do. You want to do right by your own power, and you want to do right by your own economic power. So when we talk about power, think on your economic power on how to make 10-figure moves. How are you an economy yourself? How are you your own bank? How are you controlling your wealth, right? We don't want it to have it. We want to control it, AKA we want to manage it. And that's what a bank is. They just manage other people's money. They're not, they don't even have money. You're putting the money there. Other people are giving the money. They're just managing it for you. They are not an economy. You are, right? So it's the ability to control resources and systems. Systems are crucial. So 10 figures for me was more about the study of what to do with it versus trying to get it or obtain it and have it for what? What am I going to do with it, right? And then you want to know the implications of how that's going to impact your life. And then you're going to be able to discover how to make 10 figures by knowing how to move like a 10-figure person, how to think like a 10-figure person, how to imply 10 figures into your programs and your projects and such, right? So that's what you're doing. You're building your power, right? So what's holding you back from your billionarity? Why are you not a 10-figure earner? Is that not something that you have an appetite for? Do you need platforms like this wonderful opportunity? Have you declared it yet? Go ahead and do that right now. Declare it, declare it. I declare, I declare. Hashtag I declare. Let that be your sentiments from 2021 all the way through the decade, okay? Declare it. So when we think about what's holding you back, really nothing. To be quite honest with you, all these beautiful brothers on the screen have declared it. They are it. They live it. They're not trying to become it. They're being. They're not trying, they're just being themselves. And that is powerful. And that's how you do it. So I think about people like Kanye West, who just made it to the Billionaire Boys Club, right? And you think about what's going on and how he did it and how he had to ask for help and people turned him down and he still was able to overcome it. He was able to do it. And so he had a wife. You know, that's why marriage is crucial and important in some cases. That is definitely a way to build your wealth and get to the 10 figures. But he had someone to believe in him and he had somebody to tell him no. And he chose the one that believed in him. And that's where he put his energy versus the rejection that he experienced. So I'll never forget when I met Oprah in person, which is 2018. And I had a dream 10 years before. In 2008, I was on a show called Mama's Boys with Ryan Seacrest on NBC. And on this show, we lived 2 doors down from Oprah Winfrey. And that night, the first night in the house, I had a dream that I met her. We were going through the hotel. I was carrying her, like protecting her and running from other people trying to get at her. And we were walking through this hotel, and I was somehow her security guard, her bodyguard. That was in 2008. Look at this picture in 2018. That day, my girl back there, Dr. Cheryl Action Jackson, my boo, she was hosting her gala, Feed Just One Gala, and Oprah Winfrey was her keynote speaker, and is actually really a good friend of hers and a supporter of hers. Oprah posts about Cheryl Action Jackson all the time. Cheryl had me running the media room at the hotel. We were at the Omni in Frisco, and that dream came true a decade later. It took a decade. That 10 is important to me. So this 10 figures or the 10 situation is why it's crucial to me. Maybe yours is 5, maybe yours is 15, who knows? I'm just talking about 10 figures and how it happens. So this was a dream that happened a decade later. I witnessed Oprah Winfrey raise Dr. Cheryl Action Jackson's organization $1.3 million in a night, just like that, by her own power, knowing who she was. And when I met her, she was so self-aware. All she did was make eye contact with me throughout the night, and her and I were able to communicate. And I knew exactly what she wanted just by her eye contact. Like, that's how powerful Oprah is. But this was something that really woke me up as well. Like, dang, I had the dream in 2008. It came true in 2018. That means some of you are wanting it so fast, it might not be locked up in, even though I always say when is now, that now dream didn't live itself out until 2018. But along the way, I believed. Sometimes I forgot about it, didn't even think about it, but I believed that it could happen. So in that sense, maybe it's taking time, and that's fine. Because by the time that you do get into that moment in that situation, it's going to be life-changing. So don't worry about if it's not coming right now. You keep building. That's what you do. And manifesting. So Forbes has an article that you can research. It's called Forbes World's Billionaires List. And you can see who's all in there. I don't go in there to look at people. This one has their pictures up. Let's say there were no pictures and it was just a bunch of logos or cats and dogs. I don't care. How did Jeff Bezos do it? How did Trump do it? How did the beautiful sister on the left do it? How did Jay-Z do it? How did so-and-so do it? What did they do? Get those steps down and start to understand it. It says that the steps of the righteous are ordered. Sometimes your steps are already ordered, but you're over here running in some other lane, and you're not in your lane, and you're wondering why things are not going right for you. Your steps are already ordered. So just ask for the order of the steps, right? So that's why I look in these articles, not to get information about these people, but to get information about the order. So there's a list. You do not have to go through all of these. You can take screenshots. Hopefully this presentation can also be shared for free afterwards or whatnot. But the key is that when you're starting to look at where they're getting it from, look at the industries, technology, beauty, L'Oreal, Google, technology. Look at these industries. Again, technology, there's a theme here, marketing, software, technology, Zara, beauty, right? You're looking at these things. It keeps going on and on. Retail, real estate, media. These are different industries that it goes in, and the list goes on and on. I won't read them all out. I just want to show you where I got the information from. You can Google the article yourself. The same information I have on the screen is in the article. I don't want to kill you with the information, but just start to understand what industry you're in. You need to have a map of the territory before you take it over. Another thing, again, that I'm big on, obviously, is ideas for teenagers to be able to get on their 10 figures, right? Don't start them late in life. You know good well if somebody had told you now, you know now what you know now. But if somebody had told you when you were 10 or 15 or 13, wouldn't you be a little bit better off? Yes. So don't even worry about that. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. You can do right now, and you can go back to the next generation to make sure they're set up. Right? So I'm not a product of my circumstances. I'm a product of my decisions. What decisions are you making right now that's going to impact your future? You can't make decisions today and then go back into your past unless obviously you're rewriting the past, but you're not really thinking backwards. You're thinking forward, and you want to be around forward thinking people. Therefore, you need to determine what kind of decisions that you're making right now to lead you going forward. So a lot of times I always adapt and make myself flexible to teenagers because they need that voice, just like you did when you were a teenager, right? And I always tell people too, in that process, don't sleep on your vision. Seriously, when you have a dream, you could wake up and go back to sleep. But when you have a vision, you are woken up for good. You're always woke. Hashtag woke, right? But in that awakening, it helped me to see that I could help the next generation along the way. As I'm helping myself get to my 10 figures, I can also help the next generation to start setting them up as well. So here I have 30 ideas for teenagers to do businesses. And that list of that is a public thing. Google it, 30 business ideas for teenagers, and list will pop up. Some of this stuff may apply to you. There's still a teenager in you. There's still a little baby in you, and they better spoil you too. Declare it. All right. So I always have this theme called Wealthtober, Wealthvember, Wealthcember. I changed the dates on the calendar to wealth, wealthuary. That's just me, right? And I just do that for my own fun. But in that, I started creating a mindset of the things that I go into. I carry abundance with me, and I take that into each month. Obviously, October is October, the 10th month. And in that month, you can start to write it down. Just take the whole month to develop your 10 figures, right? It's the 10th month. It's really not. It's the 8th month, but they messed up the calendars. I don't even want to get into it because I'll get upset. But the point is, it's classified as the 10th month. October is. So you can take that month to really dig into your 10 figures, and you can shut it down. It's me time. You know, we need me time. Anyway, I have wonderful things that I look at, I research during that month, and I really go over it. I know it's also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So it's also a great opportunity for you to do some self-care and really do some self-reflection, that you don't need anything abusing your life, abusing your health, your wealth. You don't need anything abusing your finances or anything. You want to clear all that out. So I take October to do that, along with our Purple Month, right? To celebrate those women who have conquered domestic violence. All right. So I just do research and study. That's it. There it is. It's already in you. We're coming to a close, but this doesn't have to end. You can carry this out every single moment, every single day, every single second. You can carry this out for the rest of the decade. It's all up to you, but that's 10 figures right there. All them zeros, But at the beginning of that is the one, and that's you. That's you, because it's already in you. I'm so excited. I'm so exuberantly proud of you for declaring, not just today, but every day forward. I'm just like, I don't even know what to say, but I'm just so happy for you that we made it to the end. And even though we made it to the end of the presentation, I'm trying to stop screen and stop sharing so I can connect with you all real quick before I get off of here. This may have went a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but I'm just excited for the opportunity. I'm so glad to be here with you today. I'm so glad that you decided to join us. I'm so glad that you invested in yourself, and I'm so glad that you care. Your 10 figures is already in you. Your 7 figures, 6 figures, 5 figures, 4 figures, 3 figures, 2 figures, 1 figure. It's all in you. And my key here today was to unlock that and to share in the joy and celebrate with you that you've already done the work. You might as well reap the rewards. I'm so happy to be presenting with you. If you want more information about anything that we've discussed today and you want to join the platform, my website is www.wealthhackathon.com. And our nonprofit organization, the Board of Literacy, is www.theboardofliteracy.org. I'm so excited. You can find me anywhere on social media at Dr. Oh My Coffee. And otherwise, I'm sure our information will be shared here. I want to connect with you. I want to hear from you. I want your 10-figure stories. Talk to me about your dreams, your visions, and anything that you have that you're working on that you're going to kick butt at. And billions, Dr. O.
Join us on our mission to inspire women all around the world. My name is Dr. Jennifer Harris, and I'm a 2-time suicide survivor. I'm also RE/MAX Hall of Fame real estate broker, entrepreneur, best-selling author, coach, and mentor. And one of the things that I realized on this journey is that as women, we need to be inspired. We need a sisterhood that will come together and help us declare more. Because as women, we can do more and we can be more. And it doesn't make me feel comfortable talking about being a suicide survivor. It doesn't make me feel comfortable talking about my failures. But one thing I noticed is that failures will lead you to be more fearless. So we're looking for transparent women who are looking to change lives through their story and all around the world. Not only transparent women, but those women who have overcome some things and are still overcoming and are looking to help change the lives of other women. And if that's you, then I want to invite you to be a part of this I Declare Journal initiative. And it is an initiative where this journal is going to be placed in the hands of women all around the world that's going to hear your heartbeat, that's going to hear your story and be able to help you transform their life. So sis, if that's you, then go to www.ideclareauthors.com. That's www.ideclareauthors.com. And we will see you on this I Declare journey, because we need you, our sisters need you, and most importantly, I need you. And I see you there. Dr. Jennifer Harris, and I am so excited for you ladies and some of you men, because I have two legends and they also happen to be my mentors. They have been mentoring me in business, in relationships, in love, and some of everything that we tend to talk about behind the scenes. So today you're going to get a chance to meet them. They are two of my women of greatness, because I actually had to honor them at my I Declare Greatness conference. And so I'm going to introduce our first person. Her name is Dr. Emma Frazier Pendleton. She is the founder and CEO of SOAR Discovery Network. She is an experienced life coach, strategist, award-winning author, ordained minister, international speaker, distinguished educator, and former assistant superintendent of schools. As a motivational speaker, she has spoken in multiple forums on topics relating to education, leadership development, multiple intelligence, group dynamics, and women's issues. Dr. Emma has appeared on radio and television speaking to the issues of domestic violence, women's rights, and urban education. She is the graduate of Harvard University and currently holds 5 earned degrees. Her highlights of her career and public service awards include the 2016 Barack Obama Award for lifelong commitment to building a stronger nation through volunteer service, the 2016 Power Networking Phenomenal Women's Award, the Distinguished Black Women Award by BISA, which is Black Women in Sisterhood for Action. She's received the Queen's Legend Award and so many other awards that too many to name. But Dr. Pendleton and her brother, who is also one of my mentors, Dr. George C. Frazier, were featured in Exceptional People's Magazine as the dynamic duo. So welcome, Dr. Emma. Our next panelist is known as, if you know Miss Peggy Morris, then you know her true love and passion for sisterhood. She's a native of Baltimore, Maryland. She received her Bachelor of Arts in Sociology from Morgan State University. Her professional career spans over 30 years in telecommunications industry, over 8 years plus in the nonprofit arena, and over 8+ years in the county government. In 2015, Ms. Peggy retired from Prince George County's government in the Office of Community Relations. She is one of the founders of Sisters for Sisters Network. And as that founder, Miss Peggy, I'm calling you Dr. Peggy already. Miss Peggy wanted to create an environment where women could come together to toot their own horns in celebration. It is a unique networking organization dedicated to helping women to build lasting relationships through the art of networking. Miss Peggy realized her calling was with the support of members. They have touched thousands of women within Maryland, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and beyond. And today, over 18 plus years later, Sisters for Sisters Network, Inc. Continues to grow and to connect women locally, nationally, globally, and to promote collaboration and partnering through network. Ms. Peggy's zeal and her passion drive Sisters for Sisters Network to inspire women to start their own businesses, to play an intricate part in their communities, and most importantly, reach back and mentor our youth. So welcome, Ms. Peggy. And she's also received many community service awards, and her true commitment in helping to make a difference in her community. And she would tell you that she lives by the words of Mahatma Gandhi. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. So welcome, Miss Peggy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So I am just so thrilled, and I do not take it lightly that both of you chose my summit, the Black Women's Declaration of Independence Summit, or I Declare Summit, to share your wisdom, to share your knowledge. And we're gonna just get right into it, okay? We're gonna have some fun.
Let's
I
do
don't
it.
even want to put a time on it, because whatever God shows or shares for you to share with all of the women, because this is gonna be broadcast globally, not only just also locally, but internationally in Africa and all these other places. So I'm just so thankful that you said yes. Okay, so I'm going to start with you, Dr. Emma. When you hear the words or the title, the Black Woman's Declaration of Independence, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Freedom. Freedom, freedom to explore and become everything that I can be and to maximize my potential. It says, I declare, which is what the Declaration of Independence. It didn't cover us, but this covers us.
Awesome. Thank you. Miss Peggy?
I see it as being unity among women, the power among us, to really show the love that we carry among us as women. I can go on and on, because you know my love is about sisterhood. Mm-hmm. So I would say unity would be the single word that I can describe.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to talk a little bit about the lady. And I know you all are phenomenal women. You are women of greatness. But I want to ask you, each of you, and I'll say Miss Peggy, if you could say one thing to your 15-year-old self, what would that be today?
Wow. You know, that is so amazing. I sat back because of COVID-19 has allowed us to sit still for a moment. And I went back and reflected on my life and what I had accomplished, and going back and living the life that I was in my 15, 16 young years, and realized how naive I was. I was an introvert. I was to myself. I was not one that would love conversation with other people. And so I can go back now and said, you know, life is totally different. I've learned so much. I've been able to, and I have to give credit to my mentor, which is Dr. George Frazier and Dr. Willie Jolly. Those two guys have brought the inner meat of me as an individual, because now I can go back and say, wow, you are totally a different person compared to when I was a young person. So that's what I would say to myself. Kudos to me.
Great.
So Dr. Emma, I know you are a pistol. So what would you say to your 15-year-old self?
Now, I think I had the opposite of Peggy, because I've always been precocious and outgoing in school. You know, I was always part of everything, even though I didn't have a home life that supported that. When I got to school, that was my turf. And I had all that self-confidence to be and to do with very little. So I think I would take that 15-year-old and bring her up to this one and have the 15-year-old speak to the Emma. Mm-hmm. Because later in life is when I begin to experience doubt. Even the more I accomplish, the more I doubted. I'm talking about inwardly, not my public persona.
Yeah.
And it was a struggle. So I would tell myself now, look at where you came from. Where did you begin to stumble? What caused you to think differently when you were in the difficult time? You were real strong. You didn't have any doubt that you could do it. But why do you have that fear now? And I know the answer is because at 15, I had a lot of trouble in my life, but it wasn't based on my decisions. It was those foster homes. But when you get older, you can look back on some of your own decisions and you go, oh my God, why did I do that? Why did I say that? How come I didn't take advantage of, why didn't I see that train coming? So I think my 15-year-old was much more innocent and much more courageous. So I have to go back and look at where I came from so I can stay on course about where I'm going.
Love it.
Good.
Love it.
That's good. I love that.
Mhm.
So let me ask each of you, when we think about women today, there's so much that we're trying to accomplish, and we're may look at success one way, or we look at other women being successful. So how do you measure success? Miss Peggy?
I measure success by just staying focused. I think that's the key because we can get all over the place. I've been there. I've tried to do so many things. My love has always been photography. I just love documenting because that's part of what I'm doing to leave a legacy. I want my 15-year-old young woman, or I don't have any grandkids per se, they're all male, but I would want my family and my young people to understand what we were doing in 2020. This is a good example right here. And I have been documenting over the years. I guess as a young person, that was instilled in my grandmother, forcing me to pick up the camera. And so I would document events, people, things. And so now I can go back and pull those things together and to begin to share, to leave a legacy. And I just want to just open up the world to a lot of our young kids who have no idea what life is all about. And so I use that tool as a means of, again, staying focused. Again, we can go all over the place and do so many things that you want to do, and you can do it. It's all about timing, and it's all about, again, staying focused.
Awesome. Thank you. Dr. Emma, how do you measure success?
About relationships. How do I manage relationships? What are my good points, and what must I always be working on? And do I love from my heart? Do I give from my heart? Do I have ulterior motives? And you would say, well, if you're giving, you must not. No, but you can have an ulterior motive. So, and success is being able to get up every day and love yourself, no matter what. Because if you love yourself, then that overflow of love you can give to people. And you know, the song sounds trite, but it's true. What the world needs now is love. It's really true. We are shut up in a way, and if you don't have that sustainable element in your life with all of this isolation, you know, I lived by myself. I didn't know what that really meant till COVID-19.
Yeah.
When you are your own entertainment, when every thought that you had, you now have time to think about, like Peggy, it's been a mind blower. I've made a real transformation during this time. So success is getting up every day, loving yourself. And I made a vow during COVID-19 that I would help as many people that asked me and people that didn't ask. And I've stuck to that. I've stuck to that. I put aside resources and whatnot to give to those people because I knew people were going to go through some changes
Yes.
during COVID. And I wanted to help them. I wanted to be a change, whatever sunshine I could do. So I started this whole text messaging thing to the people in my church and my friends. Peggy gets some of them.
Yes.
And so reach out and touch somebody, and then your life will be touched.
I love it, Emma.
I love it too. So let's elaborate a little bit more about relationships. So during this time, as far as Black women, it has often been said that we are so independent that we don't need a man, or that we have we're trying to achieve so much to the point where we may push men out of our lives or not allow them to come into our lives. So what would you say as far as how relationships are today, and maybe some of the mistakes that you see that women or Black women make in relationships? Whoever wants to start with that one.
Well, I've been married for 20, no, I take that back. I'm saying 20. I've been married 33 years.
Ooh.
So I have not been in the dating arena for a very, very long time. But I do hear some conversations, though.
Tell on them, Peggy. Tell on them.
Well, most recently, I was on Facebook, and I was tuning into a conversation. And I have to go back and pull the gentleman's name out, but he listed 7 points that Black women should know in dating. And I was taken back. I said, well, that's not my conversation, but let me tune into this. And everything that he said was like, oh my God, if I had only done that when I was dating. You know, you learn through trials and error through life, and hope for the best in any given relationship. And I've been blessed that I have a person in my life, my husband, for 33 years, who support me, who love me, who would do anything to support my vision. So Emma, I'm going to pass it on to you because I understand that you've been in the dating arena for a moment or two, so you can probably teach us a few things.
Well, thank you, Miss Peggy. It's good. It's good to hear the voice of someone that is not dating but already hooked up. You know, she got a hookup, ladies. So I'm widowed. I've been widowed for 12 years. I was married for 43 and a half years.
Wow.
I married my high school sweetheart and already had 2 children by 21. So when he passed away in 2008, in the beginning, I was okay. I was really okay because we had set everything in order. So, you know, that was taken care of. It wasn't until year 2 when I realized, oh, he's not going to put the garbage out. Oh, I do have to change the light bulb. I did not know. Now, I'm a real independent woman. I want you to put a pin in that. But I never put gas in my car. The first time I went to the gas tank, to the gas station, I couldn't figure it out. I stood there and cried. And I had to ask a man, could you, he just laughed. He said, you never did it. I said, no. It was the small things.
Yes.
That I took for granted, So now it's 12 years later, and in 2019, I started dating. A friend introduced me to a gentleman, and I have to tell you, ladies, I thought I knew everything about relationships because I had been in one since I was 16 with the same guy. So what could you teach me? I know everything. I was as dumb as a hole in a donut. Because, and one of the main issues was that independence. I didn't know how to let it go.
Let it go.
It took a special person like he is to really call me on it, but not in a harsh way. So one day he said to me, Emma, I can't figure out where I would fit in your life. You don't need anything.
Wow.
I said, what? I need love. My business doesn't hug me at night. It can't take me on a walk. It can't take me for a drive. It can't give me a cup of tea. It can't put the garbage out. And I really thought about that, but it took some work on my part. But now I'm going to go over to the brothers. If you're dating a woman who's accomplished, you have to understand she did what she had to do to become what she had to become.
Exactly.
It wasn't by choice, it was by circumstance.
Yes.
So she's done these things because that's what she had to do. It wasn't to deflect a male relationship, but what happens is men perceive that as that.
Right.
But the smart man, listen to me, brothers, the smart man has to know how to handle that. Because if he moves on because he's looking for somebody more dependent, but he really loved an independent woman, he's going to miss out on his blessing by only looking at her independence. Because every woman, when she goes home from her CEO, closes the computer from her private business, doesn't talk to the sisterhood like Peggy does all the time, she's still a woman.
Yes.
We don't lose that. We want the same thing now that we wanted when we first started dating. Only we're a little bit more accomplished and we're a little bit smarter. So you can't, pardon this, you can't bullcrap us. We know if you're not legitimate. If you ain't got nothing going for you and you're trying to tell me that my independence is blocking you, well, if I wasn't independent and I really looked at your profile, you still wouldn't be in. So have your game straight and you'll understand how come she has her straight. But let me tell you, both parties, men and women, want, when it's all said and done, it's all about love. It's all about what personal intimate love brings. It's not a title, because I got a million titles. But I have to tell the person that I'm dating, when I'm with you, I'm not coming with my titles. I'm just Emma. Please don't get stuck on that.
That's good.
I don't have no title when we're holding hands or going someplace. I'm just me. So they get stuck, we get stuck. But ladies, it's possible. You have to study to show yourself approved, understand where your flaws are. Know if you're a prissy sister, know if you're a complainer, know if you don't know how to say thank you. Ladies, I'm gonna tell you this. Say thank you when they do stuff for you. Don't take it for granted. Send them a text.
Yes.
Send them a text. That's what I do, but it wasn't always that way. I ain't gonna tell you the bad stuff that I had to overcome in my own head, and he had to overcome in his head. But it's possible, but more than that, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Hey, Emma, I believe that's another book.
Yeah, it's worth it. Yeah,
it's worth it.
It's worth it.
She got that smile on her face, doesn't she, Miss Peggy?
Yes, I love it.
It's worth it.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, and I forgot to say this one thing.
Yes.
Make sure you have a couple of men that you trust so you can double back and call them.
So true, Emma.
They got information too. So the first person I call is my brother, and then I have another couple of guys that are just interested in me as a human being, and they say, oh, no. I'm a man, I know, because I misread some signals. I really did. If I was a car, I would have been crashed.
My goodness.
Do you want to chime in on what she mentioned, Miss Peggy, on that?
Well, you know, it's so true. Even once you come out of the dating scene and get into a marriage, you know, you have to adjust. You have to look at, you know, continue to, one, love yourself as an individual, okay? But there are some things that you have to adjust when you're living with someone else.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yes.
He might like some things that you don't like. There's some things that I like that he doesn't like. But you have to come in the middle to support each other. There could be from down to to food. There's certain things I like I like mushrooms. My husband doesn't like mushrooms, but he knows how to adjust that in cooking. So I can go, oh my God, don't let me start my book
Yes. Yes.
of being in a
Yes.
marriage and living with someone. And I can adjust to and understand what you go as a single or you, Jennifer, as a single woman, that you live, because your mindset is you're thinking of
I gotta
only
make it.
you.
Yes.
And when I came into a marriage, I had to realize, because I was always thinking about me and what was around me that I had to fix or to adjust. And I had to take in consideration that it wasn't all about me. It was about including him, bringing him into my circle, in my space, and we had to adjust for both of us.
Yep.
So
So
there's
I
some
haven't.
days that
Yes.
there's some days that are not, I'm not going to say rosy, but I make it a point to adjust that it is a minimum that we have to unadjust and keep it simple, and life is beautiful.
Yep. Yep. And I want to say this, ladies. So Jimmy and I have had lots of conversations, and one of the things I've defined is there's a difference between settling and a compromise. When you settle, you didn't really want, okay, I'll settle for this. But when you compromise, it means I want it, so I'm willing to meet you. And it's not always 50-50. Sometimes you got to meet them 80-20.
Yes.
It's not, if you start keeping the score, well, I did this and you did that, you're doomed.
That's it.
You're
Yeah.
doomed. So don't settle, but be willing to compromise. Compromise is intelligent flexibility to obtain a desired goal.
Oh, this is some great knowledge. We're gonna have to do an entire series on this right here. And listen, you need to make sure that your new boo, he knows that you have several little nieces, nephews.
Yes, he does. He
That
does.
come for him if he mess with our Dr. Emma.
That's right. You're coming after him.
That's right. That's right. So this has been amazing. So I want to segment into, because you ladies have both been awesome business owners. You have very accomplished as in your own right and in your own way. So I just have a couple of questions that I want to segment into about business and Black women in business. So women face so many challenges, not to mention Black women. So when faced with challenges, what are your biggest source of motivation, or what is your biggest source of motivation? So Miss Peggy.
Pray. You got to pray. You cannot being exempt from not bringing him into your space. I read something the other day. I wish I had it in front of me. You'll be surprised how much of a beautiful day when you bring spirit and prayer into your life. And it takes you a long way. I love that moment that I can sit still and spend some quality time with me. And I think that takes me a long way on all the things that I do. And I don't forget the people that have blessed me along the way. So when they bless me, I have to pour it back out and give it back to you. And that's how I live my life.
That's good. Dr. Emma, what would you say as far as facing, especially Black women facing those challenges? What are your biggest source of motivation?
So Peggy laid the foundation. It's a connection to your higher power. It's in you. It's not out there. So if that foundation is set, so now I'm going to be a little more clinical. Be prepared when you want something. Study to show yourself approved. Read the books. Do the homework. Google. Don't go to the bank for a loan for your business and you have no business plan because you say, oh, that's complicated. Do not think that your Gucci bag will get you a pass. It won't. You better have a mindset. Go as intelligent as you can. Work your network. Call and ask questions. Don't be out there by yourself. Be prepared. And the greatest asset that we have today is Google. You can Google everything from fungus to finance, from apples to associations. No one has to be ignorant, and a lot of questions you can get answered yourself. So be prepared for the thing that you want. Connect yourself to somebody that's doing it. If you want to buy a house, don't go ask a friend that never bought one. They could say, well, I heard, and oh, girl, I wouldn't take on that debt or whatever. Connect yourself to somebody who's doing where you want to do. You don't just go out there and think I can get over, because you'll only get over for a while and then you'll be in a ditch. So connect, prepare, set a spiritual foundation, and there's no way you can fail. And have positive. The law of attraction is not just this magical thing. You attract what you have prepared for.
That's good.
So well, Emma, and I agree with you on that. It's at a point there's no excuses.
Oh,
there's no excuse. We and all of us here understand the power we have as women, and it's all about relationship. What you bring to the table, what I can bring to the table, let's collaborate. Let's talk about it. Let it be bigger than what it is. Can you imagine just having a group of women that think the same way? The power that we have. Please don't let me start. I can go into another conversation.
But Jennifer, I do want to say this. So we all have our list in our head about single women, about what you want. It is good to have a list.
Yes.
But it is better to listen. Good to have a list. It's better to listen to your spirit, because some of the things you have on that list is not going to be the breaking point. It's not going to be the deal breaker. It's other stuff that you didn't even know that you needed because when you're self-sufficient, you make up for that. All right, I got to cook my own dinner, take myself out on a date. But when somebody comes into your life, they bring an asset that you have long said, I don't have it, so I'm not going to pine over it. And it takes some adjusting. So listen to the person. Be a good listener, because women, we got to answer for everything before you ask the question. But you got to pull back. You got to pull back. You really got to pull back. Not so that you dumb yourself down, but so that you make yourself accessible emotionally to the person that's trying to connect with you. We are not encyclopedias. We are females. And we need love, and we need caring. And we keep saying, I just wish I had somebody to take care of me. Well, then do you let them? That was my problem. Do you let them? Do you let them?
This is so good.
Go ahead, Emma.
So speaking of partnerships, is there truly power in partnerships? And I know you both have so much wisdom when it comes to the right way to partner, and maybe even some adjustments you have to make in partnerships. So Miss Peggy, is there truly power in partnerships, and can women, especially Black women, can we really, really, really partner together?
Oh, of course we can. Emma said it so well. Listening. If we sit down moment by moment in a circle of women, we'll just say, just partnering, just you and I. I don't have the answers for everything. And I know that you don't have the answers for everything. But if we can come to the table, to the drawing table, and write it out and just listen, that's the key. Because again, as Emma said, we can have a conversation, and I think I know the answer for everything. It's a turnoff. Yep. It's a turnoff for a man, and it's a turnoff for another woman, another female.
Yeah.
So the key is be willing to compromise, willing to give in when you don't want to give in.
Give in.
I just had an experience most recently same situation, and I listened. And I'm glad I did.
Awesome.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
So I want
Yes.
to talk about in those partnerships comes reputation. And so how do you, or how have you both built your reputation, and how do you protect it? Because you have so much, I would say, to gain, but also so much to lose with 30, 40 plus years, even in business and in other relationships. So Dr. Emma, how did you build your relationship? Build your reputation, and how did you protect it? Or how do you protect it?
Honesty. Do the job you're asked to do and do above and beyond. You know, you ever work with people say, oh, it's 5 o'clock, I'm going home, I don't care what's happening, they better not ask me to do anything. Do above and beyond. Have a reputation for completing a task. Also, partner with people on your job. Don't be a loner. Ooh, don't be a loner. Somebody in there can help you do it. Be friendly. Be open. I don't mean you have to be like me, but be open so that people can approach you, so that they can say, oh, Peggy, could you give me a hand? Jennifer, could. Or the other way is look for an opportunity to help somebody. You see somebody struggling, oh, can I help you? And they'll say, oh, let me help you. Let me look at that for you. That's the quickest way to somebody's heart when you rescue them. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's important. And the other thing is, your reputation. The Bible says a man's reputation is what distinguishes them. Keep your life clean and honest as much as you possibly can, in and out of the workplace, in and out of the business. Be who you say you want to be. To be the thing that you call. If you keep saying, well, that person is so dishonest and they never do, make sure it's not you. Sometimes when you observe bad behavior, it's not just so that you could observe it and critique it. It's so that you can critique it and see, is any of that in my life? Now, we all make mistakes. I'm not talking about that. But if your basic principle is, I'm going to do what I was asked to do, I'm going to do a little bit beyond, I'm going to ask for help, and I'm going to give help. So think about a partner. If you we have eyes in the front of our head. We don't have any eyes in the back of our head. That's what your partner is. Your partner got your back. Think about that expression. I got your back, because nobody can see their back. So your partner should have your back, which means they bring different gifts and different assets to the situation. You don't want anybody exactly like you, which is different from saying, you get me, Peggy, you get me. That doesn't mean she's like me. It means that there is a strain or an element in the relationship in which we connect.
Exactly.
So when looking for a partner, look for somebody that can complement what you need, and you can complement what they need, and together you get a whole. So stop looking in the mirror and try to replicate yourself for your relationships. You're looking for something different.
Yeah.
That's true wisdom right there. So Miss Peggy, how did you build, and how do you build your reputation, and how do you protect it?
I protect it by, if I say I'm going to do something, do it. And there's times when we all fall short.
Yes.
Especially when you get our age, Emma.
Yes.
We have a tendency to forget.
Yes.
Okay. So
yes.
I always have a pen.
Yes.
And a piece of paper and write it down. So they say to me, oh, well, doggone it, she sure did remember. You know why? Because I had a pen and a pad and I wrote it down. Other than that, there might be some questions asked. But that's most important. If you're going to do something and you tell somebody you're going to do it, do it. If you can't do it, or you do not want to do it, because I had a problem back in the day of saying, oh, yes, yeah, I'll do it. I got you, and didn't do it. Not because I didn't want to do it,
It was
it's
too
because
much.
I forgot. Because I was juggling so many things on my plate that it was way behind me and I couldn't remember. So that's why I rely on a pad and piece of paper to help me along the way. But the key is because that can destroy your reputation
Yes, it
when
can.
you don't keep your commitment to people. And when it happened to me, or when it does happen to me, I do all I can do to make up, take it beyond of what the person asked me to do, show them my commitment that yes, I wanted to do it, but this happened, and I'm not going to try to justify anything. But my actions speak louder than words, and I will show you what you mean to me by doing what you have asked me to do.
Mm. Peggy, I thought you were going to hit on something. I used to always say yes. I had to study Eckhart Tolle on the power of no.
No, yes, that's what I'm
No.
talking about. No, I know. Look, let me tell you, that's one thing about growing and developing who you are. And we all experience wanting to do for others and give and give and give till you give out, until you burn out. Okay? That I had to sit still and realize that it's okay to say no and not feel guilty about it. And life has been wonderful. I didn't realize how easy it was to say no.
Yep. Because no gives you the power to live up to your yeses.
Thank you.
Oh, that's good. Say that
Thank
again.
you.
No gives you the power to live up to your yeses.
You know, you
I
need
love
to
it,
put that on a
Emma.
t-shirt.
I
That's
love
a
it.
beautiful moment right there.
Huh?
That's a tweet. No gives you the power to live up to your yeses. That's powerful in itself.
Yes,
Yep.
Emma.
That's powerful in itself. And I believe that even as women and my generation and even the younger generation, we have so much that we want to think we want to accomplish and do, and like you say yes to. And oftentimes we put ourselves in a way where we don't want to say no because we want to take this opportunity. Let me take this moment. Let me maximize this moment and that moment and do this and do that. And do you think that, as speaking to younger like women and even Black women, do you believe that they are running themselves ragged, or are they in pursuit of their success? What do you see?
It could be a combination of both.
Yes.
You know, you can just run, and try to accomplish everything on your list. And it can get to a point that, again, as I mentioned earlier, burnout.
Yep.
I mean, you can be so passionate about what you love to do. But if you don't have that moment where you spend some quality time with yourself, and if you don't spend the time to say no when you really mean no, you're going to jam yourself and you're going to hurt yourself mentally
And physically.
and
Because
physically. Yes.
burnout is the body saying no more.
No more.
No matter what I have experienced burnout, you cannot make that body do it. There'll come a point when you get so burnt out, you just say, well, it's like you had a mental stroke.
Yes.
Because the body is saying, I'm not doing it.
And it shuts down.
It shuts down.
Shuts down.
It shuts down.
This is so good, so good. So I want to ask you, in today's society, it's often been said that it's hard to lose, or maybe what we call take a L. And I know you both have been in business, you both have been in relationships and partnerships for a very long time. So have you ever taken an L, or we call it a L, and how did you bounce back? So Dr. Emma, have you ever taken an L, and how did you bounce back?
I have taken so many losses, and when it first began to happen, I just like, what happened? How am I going to recoup from this? But every loss is not a loss. It's an experience for learning. Because had I not been interrupted and took that loss, I would have taken a bigger hit, either emotionally, career-wise, parenting. So every loss is not the end of the journey. It means it's time to take a different road. Like the poet Robert Frost said, I took the road less traveled.
Travel, yes.
But believe me, that's why it's important to have mentors, because when you call your mentor, if your mentor has this, they will just say, honey child, this is not a death sentence. This is not a pandemic. You took a financial loss. How old are you? I'm 45 years old, Miss Peggy, and I just, and you know, we laugh at 45 because good grief, you got like 50 years to go on and do it again.
Right.
So keep on. I mean, it's try it again. Keep on keeping on. That's really true. So take your loss. You fell off the horse. Get back
on.
up and start a new course. That's what you got to do. I mean, and there's health issues that do that. And now that's a real. When your health gets attacked, then you realize everything else fails by comparison. When your health, whether it's psychological, whether it's physical, when your health is impaired, then you start to value what really matters. But don't take it to that point. Don't you be the reason for your health failing because you couldn't say no, because you tried to take advantage of every opportunity and maybe everybody.
Yeah. Exactly. I would say if you have not failed or if you have not lost, then something's wrong.
Yes, sure is.
Something's
Sure
wrong.
is.
I mean, that's part of life. The problem is if you continuously do the same thing over and over again, 10 plus times, then something is seriously wrong. And you're supposed to learn from those mistakes. You make a mistake, you know, and I think that's where a lot of us women, we're so strong in what we do that when it happens to us, it blows our mind.
Yes.
Okay. But we must understand that's part of life. Whether or not you lost your career, whether or not you lost your job, whether or not you lost your business, that is part of life. It's about what you do with that loss, that you can gain it back. I've known so many women that, or even men who have bought homes and property and have lost it all. If you have sat there and wilted on the whole concept that I've lost that and not moved forward, you're supposed to learn from that mistake. Take that mistake, that loss that you have made, and grow beyond measure to make it better the next time around. That's it.
Absolutely. So this is so good, so good. So we're going to be wrapping up with my last few questions. And so I want to know, or because you have so much wisdom in business, you have taken those L's and turning them into lessons. If you were just starting your career as an entrepreneur and considering the experience that you have now, if someone gave you $10,000 to start up, what would you do with it? Knowing now, if you know then what you know now, if someone gave you $10,000 startup, what would you do with it?
I would work the plan. I would take that $10,000 and invest in a plan.
Yep.
Invest in the expertise that would help you get to the next level. If you don't have the foundation, you have nothing. So if I had went out here and made a mistake and someone handed me $10,000, I would say, let's go to the drawing board. Let's map this out. Let's work this $10,000 to get the best mileage out of this $10,000. But you're going to have a plan, and you got to have the right people in your circle, and you got to have the right expertise that's going to help you drive it, because you want to get value out of that $10,000. You want to get some mileage out of it. Mm-hmm. So yes, that's what I would do.
Well, Peggy, I have to agree with Peggy. Spend more time on preparation. Be prepared, study as much as you can, but don't study so much that you scare yourself to death and you can't do it.
Yes.
There's a balance, but don't go out there half course and just, half prepared. Learn what it is. I'm going back to the same thing. Connect to somebody who's in the field. You say, well, I don't know anybody that sells truffles. Maybe you want to sell truffles. That's that special mushroom and stuff. You can Google somebody that sells truffles.
That's right.
They may not, and now with COVID-19, we don't have the power to even go. So now everybody will accept your emails that never did before because it's a way of life. So the world has closed for us physically, but it has opened for us mentally.
Yes.
People will talk to you now that wouldn't talk to you before. Because everybody's dying for somebody to talk to them, no matter how important they are. And to help, because what COVID-19 has done is made all of us value the helping hand. What can I do? People help you. When I fell in Egypt and spent 30 days over there by myself, and I got back to the States, my church set up a whole cadre. I had food every day. People came and cleaned my house and all. It was wonderful. They set up a network. Have a network. I want to give a shout out to my brother. We've been talking and all we forgot to say this word. Network defines your net worth.
Yes.
Okay? Yes. If you don't have a Rolodex with some names in it, or your phone, or your computer, or whatever you keep it in, then you're not going far.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
Your
right.
brother taught us well.
Yes, he did. I had to say that because I would be excommunicated.
That is for sure. So this has been so amazing. I truly love each and every, both of you, for pouring
love you back.
Yes.
Pouring into other women's lives. So we're going to wrap it up with these closing words of what are 3 things that Black women need to do today. So Miss Peggy, what are 3 things that Black women need to do today?
The 3 things they need to do is love themselves first.
Yes.
The second one is to love themselves again. And the third one, love some more.
Yes.
There's my 3.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So Dr. Emma, what are 3 things that Black women need?
I wish Peggy would stop stealing my work. It's not fair. You understand what I'm saying? A sister can't even get a word in.
Hey, Jennifer, the next question, you ask her first so I can follow her.
No, I like it. I'm just complaining. So I agree. Love yourself. Then scripture says, love others like you love yourself.
Yeah.
So if you don't love yourself, you cannot properly love other people.
That's it.
And love yourself into a network.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have some friends. Have a ride or die. And be friendly. Give what you need, and it'll come back to you.
I love it. Let me go back. Let me give you my other 2. I did say love yourself, but have some like-minded women and men in your circle. Because you can't live on an island by yourself. You must have others to travel this journey with you. Okay? And the third one would be have mentors or individuals that are smarter than you.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
I got smart enough to know that I needed some other people that were smarter than I was, because there were others that were looking for answers from me that I didn't have, that I went to them and asked them. So I took it back. So I began to be the smart person. Okay?
That's good. That's That's really, you really do need some people in your network. And I'm gonna just add one word to that, Peggy. Smarter differently than you.
Yes.
You can be smart, but there's other people who have a different kind of smartness that you need.
There you go.
You don't get dumb just because you have to ask a question. You get smarter.
There you go, Emma. You have it.
That's true. So this has been so amazing. Oh, I don't even want to end because we
I
can
know.
do different things for days. We might have to do a part 2 of this. We definitely have to do a part 2 of this, especially when I find out I need to be meeting. There's still hope for us sisters.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot that we learned. So I want to just end it here. But I want to also say thank you for pouring into my life, into thousands of women's lives, not only Black women, but the little girls, the youth all over the world. So if you want to have some closing remarks, let us know how we can contact you or how they can contact you. I know how to contact you because you and my Rolodex. But I want to just end it there, how anyone can get in contact with you.
Well, I'm going to go straight to the best way to do it. And I did learn this from my brother. George answers his own phone most of the time. You can, with all of the people, he will pick up his own phone.
He sure will.
I'm going to give you my telephone number. 718-916-3952. That's Dr. Emma Fraser Pendleton, 718-916-3952. Or you can go to my Facebook page, Dr. Emma Fraser Pendleton, and I'll meet you digitally, or you'll give me a call. But when you call me, now remember what Peggy said, we forget because we're past 40. When I answer the phone, remind me where you got my number from. Because as soon as this call is over, I'm gonna forget. So don't be insulted if I don't go, oh, you said, oh, you were on the call, you were on the Black Woman's Declaration, and then you're in. But if you don't remind me, I won't know what to say.
Hey, Emma, I'm with you.
Yes.
No, you be gracious and say, oh, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
for calling, because I needed a call.
No, but here's a way to do it, folks. Put my number in your phone and then text me. I'll be calling you. This is Suzanne Wonderful. I heard you on the Black Summit Conference. Then I know to expect your call. I'll put your numbers in your phone so then it'll ring on mine, because a lot of calls in mine go to spam. Okay? So first text me, then I got it. All right. And if you could send me a picture, that's even better.
Oh my God. Emma, I don't know what I'm going to do with you, woman.
Peggy, I've been meaning to call you. May I call you after this call? After this
Please.
conference, yes. Okay.
Please, please, please.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, it was Emma's brother, Dr. George Fraser, who inspired me to start Four Sisters Network Incorporated.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, you did not? Oh my God.
No.
Yes. It was the very first Power Networking Conference back in 2002, where Dr. Willie Jolly inspired me, said, look, you need to go to this conference in Cleveland. And he said, I'm going to be speaking at this powerful conference. And I had just gotten laid off from MCI Telecommunication with 18,000 other employees.
Mm.
So I had some time on my hand, went to the conference, and let me make it short. It was Sharon Bullock and my cousin Audrey and another young lady by the name of Dee. And I said, look, come on. We had just left Dr. Willie Jolly's workshop. We met up at BWI Airport, came to Cleveland, had no clue. But what I tell you one thing, when I walked into that conference and saw a sea of Black folks,
Yep.
I knew I belonged. I knew I was going to be empowered. So when we left that conference, Emma and I'm sorry you didn't know this, we left that conference and came back to Maryland. And I said, hey, we're going to form a network for women. We need each other. We need to be cheerleaders for each other. We need to edify each other.
Mm.
And we've been going 18 years strong this year because of your brother. So I don't forget that, and I don't take it lightly. Those are the people that I love being in the room who empower me so that I can empower others. So if the organization has grown, that there are women around the country. So, you know, we're not exempt just to be in Maryland. Open up. We got communications. We can connect because of situations like the Zoom or means of picking up the phone and calling each other. But my number, and I'm like Emma, I'm open. My number is 240-678-0117. And the name of the organization is Sisters for the number 4, Sisters Network Incorporated. And the 4 basically means being there for another sister.
I love it.
Being there for another sister.
I love it.
Okay.
So I applaud you, Dr. Jennifer Harris, for giving me the pleasure and reconnecting with my sister Emma. This has been amazing. I thank you so much.
Unrehearsed.
Yes.
Unrehearsed.
Next time we're going to get those behind the scenes before we start it, right?
Yes.
Because this has totally been amazing. I really needed this fuel for my soul. And even with, I've always admired both of you for coaching me, for mentoring me, and also for being a part of Purses, Pumps, and Power. And so I look at each of you as a woman of greatness, not only a woman of greatness, but a woman of purpose. And I so thank you both. Thank you both.
No, we thank you
Thank
as well.
you. Thank you, Jennifer.
Love you both.
So that's part 1. We may have to continue with a part 2, especially when we find out, you guys found out just like we did about my mentor, Dr. Emma, with the new boo. So, hey, we're going to have to connect on those other times. But thank you both. I love you. I
love you back.
So thankful just that you are, I mean, I can just go on for days about the greatness that you put out into the world, not letting your light dim, but not only that, you let it shine. You did not let it dim, you let it shine. And so in my book, The Black Woman's Declaration of Independence, jump into your next, because I declare,
yes,
I'm going to have me a new, look, I'm going to declare love now after that.
yes.
And now after I declare this love, us single ladies declare this love, then we're going to be talking about some more things in business. So thank you.
Okay.
Thank
All right.
you. All right. So far, hasn't day 2 been amazing? Listen, when I tell you, my sisters put it down when it comes to declaring for your bank account and declaring your 10 figures, and wealth is an inside job. I'm telling you, my sisters put it down. And I'm just gonna wrap up day 2 about declare that you are a woman of wealth. Yes, especially declare that you are a Black woman of wealth. And I just have some ideas I want to, drop on you and just have you to think about how you can actually be declaring to be a woman of wealth. And again, this has been an amazing day 2. I'm going to share my screen. It's something I want to share with you. So being a woman of wealth on this day 2, talking about declaring for your bank account. One of the things I want to say is that you are an investor. You have to look at yourself as an investor. One of the things I started thinking about is, okay, well, if I'm looking at myself as an investor, what exactly am I investing in? The first thing you must do as an investor is to declare to invest in yourself. Also declare to invest in your happiness, because no one else can make you happy, sis. No one else can make you happy when it comes to, and even wealth may not make you happy. But when you are investing in yourself, you have to declare, I am an investor. I invest in myself. I invest in my happiness. I invest in my freedom, and I invest in my future. So I want you to write this down, declare this thing, and just make sure that you look at yourself as an investor. So that's the first thing you got to do to be a woman of wealth, especially a Black woman. Now, women, we have always been resourceful. We have always come up with, like I mentioned earlier about you being brilliant and bankable, we've always come up with these ideas. And topping off this day, I want you to think about yourself as an investor. Now, one of my favorite things I also like to say is that you own a piece of the American pie, or America is going to own you. And that's a harsh reality right now going on in the world with everything that's going on, from no matter where you live, you have to own a piece of the American pie, or America is going to own you. Now, talking about these ways that women can become, or declaring being a woman of wealth, there's 3 different ways to creating wealth on your own terms. And that's why this second day has been totally about all the different ideas that you can do to increase your bank account, to, maybe starting your own business, which we're going to be talking about that tomorrow on day 3. But these are some top 3 ways to create wealth on your own terms. One of the first ways is real estate. Now, I have been in real estate, a real estate broker over 17 plus years, a top, agent, broker, Hall of Fame with RE/MAX, whatever you want to call it. But the women that are dominating this field right now, as far as buying and owning real estate, are Black women. Yes, if you haven't heard, Black women are dominating when it comes to real estate. And I'm so extremely excited to be able to help as many women do this. Now, when it comes to real estate, let's talk about increasing that revenue, or increasing that, what I call real estate purse, right? So within Purses, Pumps, and Power, we also talk about 7 purses of wealth, and real estate purses just happen to be one of them. And since Black women are dominating in that real estate purse, what about thinking about buying your first home, or buying your second home? Maybe buying your 3rd, your 4th, your 5th home, whatever it is. And no matter where you're starting, you can do that. Because the reality is, when Black women own real estate, the whole entire neighborhood changes. When Black women own property, we leave it for our families, and we leave a legacy. When Black women and Black families own real estate, we start to take pride in what else goes on in the community. And I would just want to share with you about buying your first home or your second home, because in reality, stop leasing your life and renting your results. We have to stop leasing our life and renting our results. So get in the driver's seat, as other Black women are around the world doing right now, is real estate. It is the hottest thing, no matter where you are in the country, no matter where you are in the world. Real estate, real estate, real estate. So, because the other thing about real estate is that, yeah, you may call it home sweet home, but it's not just about where you're going to live. It's about where you're going to leverage. I want you to hear that again. It's not just about where you're going to live, but where you're going to leverage. Are you going to leverage that property that you may have purchased for $7,500, and then you decided to flip it to another sister? We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. Or are you going to leverage that property to get that business loan? It's, like I said, it's not just where you're going to live, but where you're going to leverage. And it's also about where you're going to put your properties as far as owning real estate. You can leverage real estate, but most importantly, you want to be able to leave real estate. And I want you to declare, because this is the I Declare Summit, I want you to declare that you're going to own real estate, leverage real estate, and leave real estate. And it doesn't matter how you start, it just matters how you finish. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter if you're 90 or if you're 19. talking about real estate and owning real estate, there's never too late for you to do that. So declare to own it, leverage it, and leave it. So that is the secret, or one of the secrets, for creating wealth on your own terms as far as women. Now, another thing as far as to create wealth and declare wealth as women is to buy real estate. There's some parts of the world, believe it or not, you can buy a property for like $7,000, fix it up, and then maybe flip it to another family. And what I mean by flip it, that means selling it to another family. And you don't even have to have a license to do that. So remember I was telling you about $3,000 an hour or $50 a minute, you know, those type of things you can actually start to incorporate within the real estate realm. So buy it, flip it, and then you can bank it. And what I mean by bank it is that putting that into your bank account, because after all, that rent that you can get from someone that it may be renting from you. I have a story that a lady that I helped, she was renting for 30 years. 30 years renting the same house. And she decided, you know what? No longer am I going to have somebody else's bank account get fat off of me. And so she decided to buy her first home. And she has been a homeowner for the last 4 or 5 years. But just imagine 30 years worth of rent that you can actually bank and putting that into your bank account. So again, buy it, buy real estate, flip real estate, and bank real estate. Because in reality, there's a lot of properties, older properties. It may be a property that you inherited from someone, or maybe a family member that wants to get rid of a property or pass it down, but you can rehab or fix up this property, resell it to someone, sell it to another family, sell it to another sister or a mom that you know is in need. And you can actually start to get started with flipping houses. And that's what we do in the Buy It and Flip It Women Institute. So buy it, flip it, and invest it. So I want you to declare today that you're going to get started in real estate, no matter if it's starting small, no matter if it's starting with a pool of other women, other Black women, because Black women, like I mentioned before, are owning real estate at the fastest pace. So don't let that stop you, because some of you can come together. One may have the money, one may have, the cash, one may have the credit, and you have these ideas where you can actually buy real estate and buy it, flip it, but also invest it. So investing in real estate is something that it's not new. Growing up, I was fortunate enough to be in a home where my parents owned their own home. And it was one of those things that I had thought about. And I was like, well, I grew up in a house, and I know that was fortunate for me to be able to do that with as far as my parents. But one of the things that they also did was pass down that legacy of a home. And you can do the same thing, sis, because we're declaring some things in our bank account, but you're going to be declaring that you're going to invest in real estate. Let's talk about apartments and strip malls. Now, we know shelter, real estate, everybody has to have a place to live. And no matter where you look, apartments and strip malls are popping up everywhere. No matter where you are, you can be in Africa, you can be in Atlanta, you can be in North Carolina, you can be in Delaware, you can be in New Jersey. No matter where it is, apartments are popping up everywhere. But not only are they owning strip malls, they're also owning these small hotels. And I want you to check out some serious sisters that are doing this exact same thing. So you can do it too. So when you buy real estate, you also can rent it like apartments, but you're going to be banking it. Okay. I want you to declare to buy real estate, rent real estate, and bank your real estate dollars. Again, when I say own a piece of the American pie, or America is going to own you. So that's one of the ways that one of the many ways that women are creating wealth. A second way is investing. Now, when I talk about investing, I'm talking about growing your investment portfolio. You can start small. You can start with $50. You can increase it to, $500, whatever that is. But don't think that you don't have enough to start. No matter, you can skip a cup of coffee and start to grow your investment portfolio. Just make sure that you talk with a professional that is licensed to help you do that. And another thing that women are doing is stocks, increasing their stocks, what I call stocks purse, like your real estate purse, but you got your stocks purse. And stocks is something that you can buy $10, you can buy $50, but I want you to think about how you can increase your bank account, because again, this is about declaring for your bank account and declaring wealth as women. And to declare your wealth as a woman, you can look at certain stocks, like what are you wearing? Do you go to, Walmart or Target, but do you own any stock in it? Do you buy little Jimmy these shoes, but you don't own stock in those shoes? Think about ways that you can sit here and own a stock today, and a year or 2 years or 10 years from now, it can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So don't forget about stocks, sis. Another thing about 401k and Roth IRA. Now, I know many a times we think about it, okay, so I have a 401k on my job. How can I leverage that? There's a lot of women that are leveraging their 401k to start businesses, to buy homes, whatever it is that you have where you're starting, but you can increase that as part of your investment portfolio. But again, do your due diligence. Talk to someone that knows and can show you exactly what to do, and not just about theory, but that is another way. Retirement account. Now, I am not far from retirement, and this is something that I think about on a regular basis, but I also say to myself, oh my God, like, what am I going to do when it comes to retirement? And I feel like every single day I'm getting further and further away from retiring, even though I love real estate, but I may not be doing real estate forever. And so that's one of the things about your retirement account. What is in your retirement account? What do you want to have in your retirement account? Have you set up a retirement account? And again, this is another way to increase that bank that you have. And let's talk about savings. Your savings purse, savings. Now, I don't know anybody on earth that does not want to have more savings. But the harsh reality is, going through hard times, you may not feel like you could even save $20. You may not even feel like you can save $10 or $100. But I want to challenge you is to set up an account that you don't see, and that say $10 a week or $10 a day or $100 a month just goes into that account that you can't see. Because when little Jimmy goes off to college and you start saving for your kids, you will be able to do that. And you'll see that money grow and compound. Like college savings for your children. Like I mentioned, little Jimmy, he's an emergency fund, right? So he's going to come to you, even though he's cute self, going to say, Mom, Dad, I need to have some shoes. Or Mom, Dad, the emergency may be he's eating you out of house and home. That's the reality right now. But the emergency savings is also going to put you on top. It's also going to give you a peace of mind, because we don't deserve the struggle, and you don't deserve to struggle. No matter how much money, sometimes you may have more month than money, like I did when I was an engineer. Or sometimes we may just need to budget a little bit better. Whatever that is, just know that you can do that with your emergency savings fund. But don't forget about the retirement savings. Don't forget about what you need, and to calculate and set up appointments. And you can reach out to me. I can connect you with some professionals. That's what this day 2 has been about, was really diving deep and digging in deeper to what we really desire in our bank accounts. Like, what do we really desire financially? What do we really desire to even have in our business? Or what do we even desire to be leading from the top? Like, you want to be able to walk into the bank and they just know you by name, right? But the other thing is, I'm going to tell you the second way that wealth is being created by women, especially Black women, is trading. And you may have heard of cryptocurrency. You may have heard of trading like Forex. I'm telling you, when you trade it like a lady, like we know our Black women can do, you are multiplying those dollars. You can take $1 and turn it into $100. You can take $5 and turn it into, $50, whatever that is. But trading is the fastest growing wealth trend right now for women, and especially Black women. We're killing the game right now when it comes to trading. Now, what you saying, what can I trade? Well, you can trade stocks, you can trade futures, you can trade bonds, you can trade what was called Forex or foreign exchange. You can trade, like I mentioned, stocks, foreign currency. Just like example, if you've ever been to another country, like I've traveled to Africa many times, right? And when you go there, they may take US dollar and they're gonna trade it into shilling or whatever that currency is. Or you may have to trade something into pesos. That's all that is. So every single day, the banks are making money off of what you have. Every single day that you put that money in your bank account, or you can best believe the banks are using that money to trade and make more money. That's how they can make the loans. That's how they can have the big buildings. They are trading your money. But trading in stocks is different than trading in foreign currency. And so later on down the line, if that's something that you're interested in, email me, Jennifer@PursePumpsandPower.com. That's Jennifer@PursePumpsandPower.com, and say, I want to learn more about trading, and I will put you in touch with the professionals. Because this is something, I call it the Underground Railroad for women. It really, really is. Because trading is something that you can do anywhere in the world. No matter if it's cryptocurrency or regular trades, you can do stocks and all of that. Because the fact of the matter is foreign currency is 10 times, sometimes maybe 15 times the size of the stock market. And oftentimes we may see, the stock market has gone up, it's gone down, it's tanked, or it's driven by certain factors. But the fact is foreign currency is at least 10 times the size of the stock market, but you can get a piece of that American dream and get a piece of that pie. So you must invest in yourself before you invest in things. Like, you don't need another purse. Or if you want to have another purse, fine. But I challenge you to take what you were going to buy that purse and invest it into real estate, or invest it into, say, stocks, or maybe whatever that purse cost is, and watch your money truly grow. So invest in yourself before you invest in things. Invest in your knowledge of how to create wealth. Because we all like to say, you can create wealth. We have the knowledge, we have the skill set, we have the brilliance, and especially as women, we know how to create wealth, but we just have to invest in our knowledge of getting wealth. The one thing I love that Warren Buffett, who's, of course, we all know who Warren Buffett is. If you don't, he's a multi-billionaire that has created, several businesses. And again, he likes to say the best education you can get is investing in yourself. And that doesn't mean a college or university. We all can look at a lot of billionaires that may not even have a college degree. And just because you may have a college degree doesn't equal up to what's in your bank account. So invest in your knowledge and your education of creating wealth, but also invest in your knowledge of wealth before you waste your wealth. Invest in your knowledge of wealth before you waste your wealth. Think about this. What if you went an entire week and what you normally would spend eating out, for lunch, or just frivolous spending, just spending for stuff? What if you took that and saved it for an entire week and then go to invest it? Or you take an entire month, look at what you were really spending. Because I had a harsh reality. I was spending about $300 at one point at Starbucks. Now, you may say that is ridiculous, and it is. But I didn't know that until I stopped wasting my wealth on Starbucks. And then I started looking at Starbucks stock. Like, if I'm going to sit here and drink it, I need to own it. And which is another tip that Warren Buffett likes to say, which is why he's also a billionaire. But wealthy people, they don't waste their money. Wealthy people don't wear their money. Wealthy people invest their money. Again, I'm going to say that. Wealthy people don't wear their money. Wealthy people invest their money, but they're investing more in their knowledge of wealth. And also because God gave us all the things that we have to create the wealth that we desire. One of the things that Wayne Dyer likes to say is that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at tend to change. So I thought about this over the last several months, and I said, okay, so if these multi-billionaires only got wealthier because of their knowledge of wealth and business, then what do I need to change as far as my mindset? And you may be asking yourself that too. What do I need to change in order to go to that next level? And it really all starts with a new skill set, a new mindset, because again, wherever you are in life, your mind got there first. So you have to see it before you see it, or you'll never see it. But think about the skill set that you can learn when it comes to wealth creation. Think about the mindset that it even takes to even create wealth. And wealth can be whatever you want on your own terms. It could be having $50,000 in the bank, or $50,000, making $50,000 a year in your business. Whatever that wealth is for you, it's on your own terms. But again, you have to learn to invest in yourself. And nobody can ever take that knowledge, because the more you learn, the more you're going to earn. Learn to invest for yourself. Take time out to, maybe Google some of these sites like Forbes and Money Magazine and these type of places. So learning about this particular wealth is what's going to help you pack more into your bank account and declare all of the things that you ever desire, because you have to see your money as a seed. That's all your money is. It's a seed, and seeds are meant to be sown. So you have to sow your money as a seed. But the best investment you can have is sowing that into yourself, sowing that into your knowledge. So when you see your money as a seed and you're sowing your money as a seed, then the quicker that you sow, the quicker that you grow. And that's one thing I noticed, that, when they say, when is the best time to plant a tree? 10 years ago. But when is the next best time to plant a tree is now. So when it was the best time maybe to invest in some of these things, maybe 10 years ago. But when is the best time to invest? Now, today. So the quicker you grow, the quicker you sow, the quicker that you grow. So seeds are for planting. Your money is for planting, and off top of that, you don't want to eat your seed. And what I mean by that, you don't want to just bury your seed in a place that's not going to grow. So make sure you do your research and looking at the places where you can grow your money. But seeds are for planting, not eating. So you must not consume your own seed. But seed also produces after its own kind. So an apple seed produces apples. Orange seeds produces oranges. Watermelon seed produces watermelon. So what do you think your money seed is going to do? It's going to produce money. It's going to increase your bank account. And on top of that, it's going to also increase your knowledge of wealth and those things that you can actually pass on. So to invest is to sow, and to sow is to invest. To invest is to sow, and to sow is to invest. So you have to look at your money as a seed. You are a seed. You are an investment. And when you invest in yourself and you invest in your knowledge, then therefore you can actually take that to the next level and grow your bank account. Because the more you sow, the more you grow. The more you sow, the more you grow. And again, the quicker that you sow, the quicker you grow. But the more you sow, because you can actually take a little and multiply that into, hundreds of dollars. You can end up with $500 in the bank. You can end up with $1,000, $10,000, whatever that is, but you also have to start. So I just want to tell you, everyone has a seed. And I want you to declare and say with me, I have everything I need today to create the wealth I desire tomorrow. I have everything I need today to create the wealth I desire tomorrow. So I want you to say that. I want you to declare that. Declare that you have everything that you need to create the wealth that you desire tomorrow, because this is the I Declare Summit. And you have to declare some things in order to be some things. And on top of that, you not only have to declare what's in your bank account, you have to see what you want in your bank account. And that is what this whole entire day 2 has been about. And I'm telling you, I'm so excited. This past 2 days have been power packed. So day 1 was about declaring for your life. Today, day 2 has been about declaring for your bank account. And again, it doesn't matter where you start, sis. It matters how you finish. So you can finish strong. no matter, don't look at how it looks now. Okay, so if you can get up, if like Bishop Jake said, if you can get your mind out, you can get your money out. So just know it doesn't matter how you start, it matters how you finish. So that's my time. That's a wrap for day 2. Tomorrow, day 3, we're going to be talking about declaring for your business. Now, when I say declaring for your business, oh my gosh, we have so many awesome ideas that are going to be birthed inside of you, and that we're going to pull that out of you on day 3 tomorrow about declaring for your business. So again, that's my time. I'm Dr. Jennifer Harris, your host of the I Declare Summit. I hope you enjoyed today. My sisters really brought it. I hope you took copious notes, because note takers are money makers. And just make sure that you know we are here to inspire you. We're here to push you. We're here to support you in everything that you ever desire to do. So declare for your bank account. And not only will we see you at the bank, but we're going to see you on the beaches of the world. So we'll see you tomorrow, day 3, for declaring for your business. Join us on our mission to inspire women all around the world. My name is Dr. Jennifer Harris, and I'm a 2-time suicide survivor. I'm also RE/MAX Hall of Fame real estate broker, entrepreneur, best-selling author, coach, and mentor. And one of the things that I realized on this journey is that as women, we need to be inspired. We need a sisterhood that will come together and help us declare more. Because as women, we can do more and we can be more. And it doesn't make me feel comfortable talking about being a suicide survivor. It doesn't make me feel comfortable talking about my failures. But one thing I noticed is that failures will lead you to be more fearless. So we're looking for transparent women who are looking to change lives through their story in all around the world. Not only transparent women, but those women who have overcome some things and are still overcoming and are looking to help change the lives of other women. And if that's you, then I want to invite you to be a part of this I Declare Journal initiative. And it is an initiative where this journal is going to be placed in the hands of women all around the world that's going to hear your heartbeat, that's going to hear your story and be able to help you transform their life. So sis, if that's you, then go to www.ideclareauthors.com. That's www.ideclareauthors.com. And we will see you on this I Declare journey, because we need you, our sisters need you, and most importantly, I need you. And I see you then.